Kylie.
And I'm Corey.
And we are Lit Libations. Welcome.
Welcome. Oh my goodness. We have a fun episode hopefully planned today.
Yeah. I am super excited. Sorry, there's a rose coming out of my hair. That was so stupid for me to put that in there. I'm so excited. We are split on this book.
Oh yeah. Big time.
So that's always, I think it's always fun when we're split because I love debating.
Yeah.
I should have been in a debate class. No, I shouldn't have because I can't. Just no. But
oh my goodness.
I just think it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun when we're split. I will say that.
And it's a good start off to our like Halloween
spooky season. Yes. So yeah, today we're doing Haunting Adeline, Part 1 by H.D. Carlton.
Love. I'm a pig. I'm dressed as a pig. Oh. You can't see me. I'm dressed as a pig.
Yeah, go check out our socials or YouTube to see our costumes. I'm a kind of a witch. I have a witch's hat on.
Yeah, you're a witch. You're
and a fun witch's sweatshirt that I bought on TikTok that says "Girls will be girls," and the other side says, "They didn't burn witches; they burned women."
Yes. Yes.
And Maisie here's dressed as a mermaid, and she's coming out of her costume. She's like crawling out of the front of it.
She's done. She's like, "Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Get me on land with my legs, bitch."
Yeah. So I'm a witch. Which is from. What did we decide?
Cersei, and I was the pig.
And then she's the pig, like that gets sacrificed.
Yeah.
Well, or whatever. And
we tried to as our best to like keep it
kind of relevant to what we've
read. Yeah. There's 1 week that's not relevant at all. But
yeah.
There's actually kind of 2 weeks that are relevant.
But they will be maybe.
Not the one, our couple's costume.
Oh yeah. Well, it's relevant to the pod.
It's relevant to the podcast. Yeah. It's not relevant to it.
To no books. Yeah, no books.
It's kind of actually relevant to Haunting Adeline.
Yeah.
Actually.
They drink a lot in Verity too.
Oh yeah, you're right. Do they take a lot of shots? No, I don't remember.
I don't think so.
That's fair.
But also the pig from Uglies, like when she has her pig mask on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking originally, but I didn't do like a mask, which I should have done because I tried painting my face and you can't see it, but I look awful. And I got makeup from the Halloween store, and it was because it was only $5. And yeah, now I know why it was only freaking $5. It was so listen, okay, so
it kind of looks like just like your skin is burnt.
Yeah, like a really bad burn, like a burn that you need to go to the hospital for. Listen, here's what happened. Okay, so I started putting it on, and it was so light, and I caked on more. It's just so light, and so I said, okay, let me grab my blush, which is very like my blush is very deceiving because it looks like it's a lot lighter than it is. Yeah. And then I put it on and it's like a darker pink, and so it's all splotchy and it's like it's just a mess, you guys.
Oh my gosh,
don't ever hire me to be a makeup artist ever in the world. It doesn't match. I have 7 different pinks on my body. Like my shirt's not the same as my nose. My nose isn't the same as my face, or the blush on my face. Like my face alone has 16 different pinks.
I love that. 50 Shades of Pink. Cut that.
Where's the pink room? What kind of pink room is it?
Oh goodness.
Oh.
This book is on Kindle Unlimited, Haunting Adeline, if you want to read it, and you have that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't want to read it and you're just here listening to the summary, hi. You're my friend.
Yes.
Sad news. Maggie Smith, that played Professor McGonagall, passed away.
I know. I saw that. I sent that to you. Did you see that?
No.
I sent it to you on either TikTok or Instagram.
I don't look on Instagram, unfortunately.
Oh, so it probably was Instagram.
No, yeah. But yeah, R.I.P. She was a queen.
It's really sad, obviously. Obviously.
We don't have to keep talking about it. Just so in the news. And we love Harry Potter and Professor McGonagall.
Yeah.
Go join the Facebook group, Lit Libations Lounge. Go check out the website, litlibationspodcast.com. And then as far as drinks go, I made a drink with chocolate milk, peanut butter whiskey, and a little bit of salted caramel Baileys. So we're just kind of sipping on it, but we did take an edible.
Yeah. It's an edible episode, you guys.
It's an edible episode, you guys.
Which is always so unbelievably stressful. I feel like I'm gonna cry every time, but it ends up being really good. I think I do cry every time.
Every time.
Maybe edibles make me cry.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Well, sometimes just crying from laughing. It's not all bad.
No, it's not like, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
I don't know we're gonna there's probably a couple places we can cry in this one. That's of hilarious. Laughter.
Yeah. For me. Did you write down the important note at the beginning?
I have the book's right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of trigger warnings, so we're just gonna read the note that's in the beginning, and if any of those things sound like something that you don't want to do today, that's fine. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so the contents are very dark with trigger situations such as non/dubcon between the main characters, graphic violence, human trafficking, stalking, child trafficking, child sacrifice, mentions of child death, and explicit sexual situations. There are also particular kinks such as gunplay, somnophilia, bondage, and degradation. What is that? Degradation.
You missed a syllable.
That's so too hard. And that is basically the trigger warnings for it. So if any of those things resonate with you in not so great of a way, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks.
We'll see you.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, yeah, true.
I don't know what the trigger warnings there are, but hopefully it'll be fine.
Hopefully not child
sex trafficking.
Trafficking and child sacrifice. But
yeah, sacrifice is crazy.
Sacrifice. That one stopped me in my tracks, if I'm honest. I was like, we should rethink this. But which is funny considering I'm the one that likes it.
You're the one that likes it in the end.
Yeah.
You guys have to check out our YouTube channel to see the background because it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
We'll have pictures up too. Okay, if you're on YouTube, I'm so sorry. You've seen my outfit. I'm taking my fucking nose off because it hurts like a bitch.
Does it hurt?
Ooh, what?
It hurts?
Yeah, it's like on a string.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Rude people.
Who wears that kind of costume on? I cannot imagine. All night?
Right. Or even masks in general.
That is, I mean, that's
Couldn't
crazy.
be me.
Couldn't be me.
No.
All right, let's get it started.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Prologue. Okay.
Right away. There's a note.
I like saying Adeline.
Oh yeah, me too, actually.
So I'm going to say, because I'm not going to be able to maintain Adeline. I actually might go back and forth. Please don't get annoyed. It's either Adeline or Adeline, and she's going to be referred to as both.
Yeah, I agree. I'll probably do the same thing. Not to match you, but just because that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. So let's start this again.
Okay.
Prologue. Adeline notices a shadow of a person outside her window, noting that the shadow is always watching her. She describes how she is terrified of him, but that she is also excited by his presence. Adeline speculates that the shadow likes watching her. She says that if she could, she would stab him if he got too close to her. Chapter 1. And okay, we're going to stop again.
Another note.
The chapters, they don't have like real titles. They go back and forth between the manipulator and the shadow. Whatever the title is, whether it's the manipulator or the shadow, it's whose POV we're in. So the manipulator will be Adeline or Adeline, and the shadow will be her stalker. Unknown at this point.
Yeah. I didn't get that till like chapter 8, and I was like, oh. Until like he called her the manipulator. I'm like, I thought he was both.
I didn't notice until I think chapter 11. And I was like, why do the chapters not have like proper names?
What is going on?
And then I noticed a correlation between whose POV we were in. And then I read the back of the book. It took me like a whole like
love that.
I was like, got it. Okay. Adeline tells us that her mother is pessimistic and very mean. She then says that her grandmother was positive and kind, the exact opposite of her mother. She's on the phone with her mother right now. Adeline says she wants to live in Parsons Manor, though her mother says that she should have had it torn down, or she should have it torn down. When her mother calls her grandmother worthless in this conversation, Adeline's like, fuck you. Literally, she says, hey, Mom, fuck you, and then hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
As Adeline sits outside the house, she makes plans to plant a garden and clean the house, noticing a quick movement in the attic upstairs. Which is attics are naturally upstairs. So
you mean like through the window, like in her yard?
Yeah. So right now she's sitting outside of Parsons Manor, which is a 3-story Victorian style home built by her great grandparents in the 1940s.
Gigi and John,
who we are unknown
we'll
right
meet them
now.
soon.
Well,
they're very important.
At one point, her grandmother had told her while she was growing up that 5 construction workers were killed in a fire during the construction of the home, aka Parsons Manor.
That's rough.
And Adeline believes that the house is haunted, and because she hears footsteps.
Yeah, she's like
at night, and
the house is haunted. It's like very known for her. She's a believer.
It's not even like a like she's lived with it her whole life.
Yeah, it's just a fact.
Yeah. She notes that she's a successful writer with financial freedom, deciding that she will live in Parsons Manor regardless of her mother's objections because fuck her mother. Entering the house, Adeline checks to make sure that the electricity works and turns up the thermostat. She had called like a day before and was like, hey, can you turn on everything? But you just never know when it comes to electricity and water.
Oh, yeah.
She called to turn those things on.
Who did? Oh, you mean like
Adeline.
the power companies and stuff. Okay, yeah.
It's
I
not
thought you meant like a butler, like in
no, it's not important.
Bridgerton.
It really isn't.
They're like, you got to get the fires going. I'm coming.
No, one of the butlers is the ghost. No, I'm joking. Later on, at a book signing with her assistant, Marietta, who we hear about some, but honestly, she's not that important.
No, I don't even remember that name.
Adeline explains that she is socially awkward and events like the signing make her really, really, really nervous. But she does love like going to these things because she gets a chance to say hi to her readers. She's just not like naturally very outgoing. Yeah. She signs some books, but she feels as though someone is staring at her. In the crowd, Adeline notices a man with different colored eyes, one dark and one blue. So light blue that it's like terrifying. And a scar on his face. Ooh. And his eyes are so dark in the one that it looks like a black hole. Oh. Kind of. Isn't that kind of like how you describe it?
Yeah, they do say like one is like white and the other one is black. Like, yeah. White is white, the whitest of whites and the blackest of blacks. So.
Yeah. Well, he, and so we'll talk about that. She looks down to sign another book, and then when she goes to look back up, the man disappears. Later, Adeline meets with her friend Dea, who is the MVP of this whole series. I do love Dea. Who insists that Adeline needs to have sex. Adeline doesn't disagree with Dea, but she is not interested in the men around town. Dea takes Adeline's phone and she sex messages a boy named Grayson, Adeline's former sex toy.
Sex toy?
Yeah.
That's how he's described?
No. Oh, okay. But I mean, it probably like would be.
Boy toy.
Yeah, sex toy.
Sex boy toy. Sex boy toy.
Sexy toy. Boy. Anyways, Grayson responds that he'll be over later at around like 8 or something. At home, Grayson tries to initiate sex with Adeline, but she is uninterested. She thinks to herself that Grayson is attractive, but he's not very specially like skilled at sex. And I think he's also like not the biggest, which is like, we're not shaming.
No.
This is what Adeline says.
So she's like, she invited him over to have sex and then like changed her mind, right?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. She's like, when she texted him to come over, or like she didn't cancel it because she's like, I actually do need sex.
That's right.
And she was like so nonchalant about it. She's like, yeah, I did actually need this, so that's fine. But then like he was licking at her neck. So I actually said that as he's licking at her neck, she's trying to think of a way to get out of the sexual encounter. But then a loud knock at the door interrupts them. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's like, she says that he's like lapping at her neck like a dog.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
At a water bowl or something.
It's disgusting.
The imagery is good though. I like it. Adeline goes to check it out, noting how Grayson does not offer to check for her. Yeah.
Rude.
She's like, he's a little pussy. And I think she actually says something like that.
I think she probably did.
Adeline goes to check the front door and she does not find anyone out on the front porch. And so she comes back in and she's like, a little like, nerve wracked and out of it. She doesn't want to have sex with Grayson. She didn't before, but she especially doesn't now. Yeah. Afterward, Grayson still wants to have sex. He even goes so far as to get naked and follow Adeline to her bedroom, but Adeline rejects him.
What the heck?
Yeah. She describes
like stripping
him
in the hallway.
Literally. Yeah. Grayson gets so angry from being rejected by Adeline and he starts saying a bunch of nasty things and then he punches a hole in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then he leaves.
Yeah. You didn't have any of what he said written down? It was like bad stuff.
No, he was like, all you ever do is leave me with blue balls. And then I don't remember the rest.
Oh, it's out of control. It's like, it was so heavy handed. Like, out of nowhere. Like, whoa, okay, man.
Yeah.
Leave then.
Yeah. Well, because he's like on his way out and then he turns to specifically say these things to her. He's like, you know what, Adeline? I'm not done. Before I go, really quick. Adeline hopes whoever knocked on the door is outside to kill Grayson.
Oh my gosh.
And that's basically the end of the chapter.
Oh, okay.
So diary entry, it ends on a diary entry for every time we're in the manipulator's point of view, POV. March 19th, 1944, John has gambled all the money away.
Damn it.
And Gigi is pissed, who is grandma, who's great grandma.
Great grandma.
Gigi is pissed. They could be at risk of losing the home. She lost her husband to the chips, and now she feels broken. With no home. She says
good.
that verbatim. She lost her husband to the chips.
That's funny.
That was like word for word what she had said.
I think that's funny.
Like, I lost my husband to the chips, and now I'm alone.
Bummer.
With almost no home. Chapter 2, The Shadow. So we're in Stalker's POV. We open up with a man torturing another man for information. The man that's being tortured says that Josh, who we don't know yet, runs the warehouse. And he implies that the warehouse is like based for operations of human trafficking or trafficking girls. After getting the information that the Shadow needs, the man being tortured begs him to let him go. The Shadow, right before he plunges a knife in his eye, calls him a child rapist.
It's not funny. That wasn't
So
funny.
we're just like, but it is just very like
It's
we're
like, you know what? Right in the action.
yeah, immediately.
Open it up,
we have
yeah.
like no real,
That's the introduction.
Yeah. The Shadow thinks to himself that he enjoys torturing people, but he does not care for the gross sounds of torture because when he stabs in the eyeball, there's like a gross gurgling sound.
I can imagine that. Misophonia, I think that's called.
Yeah, it's just, after the torture, the Shadow goes to get a burger, but he stops.
He's like, you know what? I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop at the diner.
I was actually wanting to get some food. Well, he does say in the middle of it, he's like, I'm craving a burger right now, but if that guy's eye doesn't stop gurgling, then I'm going to
lose my appetite.
I'm going to lose my appetite.
Oh my gosh.
So on his way to, probably Five Guys, he notices, actually, I think he said at that place, but I forgot. He notices a beautiful woman's picture sitting in a bookshop window, and it's Adeline advertising her book signing.
Uh-oh.
He enters the store and finds a spot near the back so he can stare at her. Oh, he sees her.
Oh, does he?
And he's like, oh my God, she's the most perfect thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He's in awe of Adeline, and he is instantly obsessed with her. While she's signing one of the books, they make brief eye contact, and it nearly makes him go crazy with like lust and like everything.
Yeah.
And in that moment, he thinks about kidnapping her, but he's like, he's like, I'm just going to leave, because if I don't leave, then I'm literally going to kidnap her.
Yeah, and I'm going to get in trouble because there's so many witnesses.
Because there's so many witnesses.
And she's like a popular author.
Oh! And that's the end of that chapter.
Okay.
Diary entry dated April 4th, 1944. The diary writer notes a man stalking her. She does not plan to tell John, which is her husband, obviously. She's afraid of the man, but also intrigued.
So just like the beginning of Addie's story.
I was confused at who
theme.
I'm starting to feel it.
Uh-oh. Better hurry up.
I was wondering that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
About
Yeah.
it.
And what's up with that? It's the same.
Yeah.
History
Repeats itself.
repeating itself. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's the
That's
rules.
the theme. It's the rules.
Chapter 3, The Manipulator. We're back in Adeline's. I'm just going to say Adeline because
You said Adeline too one time. That was
Well,
funny.
I-
That's 3 different pronunciations.
Adeline, Adeline. You guys get the gist.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You know who she is.
Okay. Adeline investigates the hole in her wall left by Grayson. When the hole was formed, she noticed a large space between her wall and like the other wall or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how houses work, but there was like a hole like past the plaster or something.
Yeah, like a crawl space, but like a walk space.
yeah. No, exactly. But I can't
Yeah.
picture why. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's what it was.
Probably just poor planning during the building.
Oh, and it's an old
Process.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she figured there would be a reason that the house was built with this space. And so she had stuck her head in the hole with her phone flashlight. And at the end of the hallway, she sees like a glint of light. And it's lining up with a picture down the wall of her grandmother, like smiling with her classic, red lipstick. She was known for wearing red lipstick. So she takes the picture down and she finds a safe containing her great-grandmother's 3 diaries.
A safe. She had him in a safe.
She had them in a safe.
Okay.
I can't.
Wait, I have a quote from that. She said, quote, "Now here I am, bent over and stuffing myself in a hole. Suppose if I couldn't get mine stuffed tonight, I might as well get my action this way."
I love that. I love that so much.
All right.
She's a G. She really is.
She's something.
Okay, so here we talk about her great grandmother, Genevieve, or Gigi, and that's her name.
Okay, I love Genevieve.
And she's witty and obviously, like I said, known for her red lipstick. Adeline stays up. It's kind of important.
Oh, okay. I haven't finished the book, so she knows more than me.
No, it's not important to the plot. Nothing.
None
is
of this
important
with
to the
Gigi is
plot.
important. Nothing is important to the plot.
Not any of it is important to the plot. There's not one
What
thing
is
in
the
this book
plot?
that I
I
don't
know.
even know what the plot is. There's 7 plots in this book for no reason at all. Adeline stays up late that night reading her Gigi's diaries, and she is disturbed by her great grandmother's experiences, but she soon falls asleep.
She falls asleep. You put the wrong. Oh no, I was crying already. It's starting. Just kidding. No, it's not.
She soon falls asleep. But she soon falls asleep.
Oh no.
A sound wakes Adeline up, and she realizes that it's the sound of her front door closing. After searching the house, Adeline finds a rose on her kitchen counter with the thorns removed.
Oh yeah, that's so nice.
It's awful.
So nice that there's no thorns.
They were clipped. He did it specifically
So
for
she
her.
like hurt her fingers.
Yeah.
So awful.
So unbelievably thoughtful of him. She obviously freaked out and goes to search every inch of her house for the intruder. Her search stops at the attic door because she is not willing to go into the attic, both out of fear and out of grief over her grandmother's death, but mostly out of fear. She thinks there's a demon up there.
Yeah.
Her grandmother did spend a lot of time in the attic, but she's still not ready to revisit those memories, but also she thinks there's a demon up there.
It's very faceted, many layers to that.
Which is so crazy considering there's like such a bad energy up there. And
yeah.
But her grandmother spent like all the time up there.
Well, maybe she's the bad energy. Maybe Gigi is the
Gigi?
bad energy.
No, her grandma, Serena.
Well,
Or Serafina, or whatever the fuck.
I didn't question it.
It wasn't. The next day, Adeline tells Dea about the whole situation. She focuses the conversation more so on Grayson and the rose, but she doesn't tell Dea about the diaries that she found for some reason.
Yeah. This is,
She keeps that. Dea insists that she come over and help Adeline clean that day to help keep an eye on her because she's worried. She's like, you literally had someone break into your house.
Oh, yeah.
Adeline reflects on how Dea went to a different college and they only see each other on holidays, but they always, always, always make time for one another.
Wait, like in the past or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that
now
was their relationship because they've known each other, I think, since they were like children or something. Dea has a degree in computer science, and she now works as an activist hacking into the government.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of those jobs.
And sharing it with the public kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she's like, Dea is a conspiracy theorist. And that's what she says.
Oh, nice.
She's like, honestly, there's some good evidence on it, though. Can't even lie. Adeline left college after a year to explore writing. She lived with her mother until her writing career took off. They both have ample amounts of free time to spend together now that they're both like in their respective positions, which Adeline is very grateful for.
Yeah.
Adeline looks at her Gigi's journals that are sitting on the counter and thinks about how she equally wants to be her and rejects her at the same time after reading her journals.
Oh, geez. Jeez, oh, Pete's.
There's just so many things going on. Because, like, right in this moment, she's like, I have a stalker. I found my Gigi's journals. Me and
Gigi
Dea
has a
are best
stalker,
friends.
and now I hate
Gigi has
Gigi.
a stalker. And now I don't know if I want to be her or I hate her.
It's crazy.
That's what kind of... And you know what? That's how my mind works. Diary entry date. Just kidding. Diary entry dated April 10th, 1944. The writer says a visitor is watching her write. Her partner, John, has started asking questions about her, quote, distractions.
Jeez.
Yeah. And Gigi says that she is still both afraid and intrigued.
That's funny, I think.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'd be like, police, moving states. I don't know.
Yeah, I would too, actually.
Yeah.
Chapter 4, we're in Adeline's POV. Dea helps Adeline clear out her grandparents' things, making jokes and drinking as they work. And they're drinking, like, they're taking shots, let's be honest. Adeline goes to get drinks because they're out, and she finds another rose next to an empty glass, like on the table with her grandfather's whiskey right next to it.
Yeah, he likes to drink whiskey.
Yeah. Disturbed and also annoyed, Adeline grabs a knife and searches the whole house again for an intruder, thinking that he's still there.
Yeah. She always grabs a knife. She's like straight to the knife block. Biggest knife.
Sometimes she says once she said she grabbed a butter knife.
Oh, that's fun for her.
I read that and I was like,
Girlfriend.
yeah. So she finds no one and rips up the rose on the counter out of frustration. Adeline waits to tell Dea about the rose. She just goes back and starts cleaning with Dea again, but she doesn't want to tell her because it's nerve wracking.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing having a stalker. Just kidding. No.
She doesn't want to make Dea nervous, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's nothing. He's probably gone. Like, she's just like talking
herself into it. Yeah.
Yeah. When the work is done and Dea's about to dip, Adeline tells Dea about like the stalker stopping by. And Dea insists that either Adeline come stay with her or that she stay with Adeline.
Good friend.
Yeah. Adeline tells Dea that she'll be safe in the house and insists on staying put. She doesn't want Dea to stay because she doesn't want to endanger her in any way. Internally, Adeline's thinking like to herself, she goes, she is afraid of whoever this person is that seems to have unlimited access to her home, but she is not willing to leave despite the stalker and her mother and now Dea pushing her to leave as well.
She's like, you guys all want me out here? I'm staying.
That's literally her. She's like, I think at one point she calls herself stupid. Like, she's like, I'm stupid, obviously.
Yeah, she does.
As Dea leaves, she tells her to call if the stalker comes back and that she will be really pissed if Adeline gets killed.
Yeah.
And then end of the chapter, a diary entry dated April 12th, 1944. John, the husband of Gigi, left for work, and Serafina, which I told you was her name.
You did. Good job.
That's the grandmother of Adeline, but also the daughter of Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
Serafina left for school, so that's the only reason. Gigi Stalker enters the house and caresses Gigi like on the chin or something, and then leaves. And Gigi is confident that he will return, and she's not like upset about it.
Yeah, she's like, okay, yeah, come back.
She's like, I got myself a stalker.
Oh yeah, that's good in this book.
I heard that like people, like more people than you would think, have stalkers. Like there's like a.
I believe that. I used to have one.
Do you really?
Like a low key, yeah.
That's kind of, I'm a little upset. I haven't ever had a stalker.
You don't want one. I'm telling you. Don't be upset.
This would be nice.
No, it's not good. And it's not for like, it's not like personal. They just like get an attachment.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, you have to be able to like me.
Well, yeah.
To get an attachment. And I'm not saying I'd leave my like life for a stalker or anything. I just would be nice to know that like people thought of me in a way that they're more. Yeah, exactly. You know, if I put a figure in my front yard. Chapter 5, we're back in Adeline's POV.
The manipulator.
Wait, we were in Adeline's POV. So we're still in Adeline's POV. Sorry. 3 weeks have passed and Adeline is standing by the cliff outside her house, contemplating on what it would be like if she jumped. Like, not like not like
people have like an intrusive
it's an intrusive thought. Yeah. One of the construction workers working on her porch, which she's getting a facelift for, comes to tell her that the workers are leaving for the day. And Adeline can tell that he's worried that she might jump off the cliff.
Yeah, he's like trying not to get too close.
Yeah,
like,
his hands
I'm not gonna push you.
She thinks about it, but she worries that the fall would not kill her and she'd suffer a very long and painful death.
And she worries that she'll fuck up that guy's life for witnessing it.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
He like takes a step towards her and instinctively she takes a step back and she almost falls off.
I wish she would have. Just like shorten this book up a little bit.
Oh my god, that is crazy. What did Adeline ever do to you? She's like that bitch. I love me some Adeline.
Oh my gosh,
Adeline, whatever the fuck you pronounce her name. This panics them both, but they regain their composure. And the construction worker lets Adeline know that someone left a bouquet of roses for her.
Oh.
Adeline thinks about the number of roses that she's received in the last 3 weeks around her house, in her car, literally everywhere she goes.
Yeah. There's everywhere.
Yeah, she's like,
keep that in mind.
This is terrifying. She goes back to the house to see the bouquet and find a note from her stalker saying that he will see her soon, little mouse.
Stressful.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Not once have I ever had anything like this. It's so crazy.
That's good for you.
Yeah, whatever. Later, someone knocks on her door and it's her mother, Serena.
Oh.
So Serena, Serafina, and Genevieve.
Yep.
Genevieve. So
got it.
And then Adeline.
There.
Actually, have really good names. I can't even lie.
No.
They don't have good names?
Well, I'm just confused. No, I'm thinking about their name. I'm thinking about their lineage. So we have Gigi, and then her
Genevieve,
daughter, Serafina.
Serafina. That's what I said. Serena, and then...
Got it. I'm there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Her mother is a real estate agent, and she has an open house in the area. Otherwise, she wouldn't have stopped by.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She tries to convince Adeline to tear down Parsons Manor by telling her that Gigi was murdered in this house.
I don't know why everyone wants her out. I think it's a cool place. It's like deep in the woods. It's on a cliff. It's beautiful.
We'll find out.
Like in the second half.
Yeah. Why not everyone wants her out, but like why her mother definitely wants her out. I mean, we know why Dea wants her out. It's because she's a stalker.
Yeah.
I mean, who else? No one else really wants her out.
Oh, yeah, you guessed you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's everyone in her life.
Her dad, isn't it? Yeah, her dad.
That's true.
Her dad. Adeline is shocked, thinking that it was likely Gigi's stalker that killed her. Her mother tells her that Adeline, like her grandmother, now lives in Gigi's bedroom where Gigi was killed.
Oh, yeah, that's a little crazy.
That's a little crazy. And there was like the same mirror and like desk that always... Chest. Isn't that the same thing? What's a chest?
Like a trunk?
Oh. Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah, those two things are hers still. And that's like the only thing in there.
Yeah, but that's still the same furniture from...
Yeah, that's...
I mean, her murder there.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah. Adeline's mother leaves, hoping that Adeline will consider tearing down the house. And Adeline becomes worried about her stalker's no. And she repeats it in her head, like, see you soon, little mouse.
Oh, gosh.
Diary entry dated May 16th, 1944.
It's right in the middle of World War II. Crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. It is crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
No, because you're right. Because they said they say something about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the war.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Gigi notes that John is increasingly suspicious of her behavior. Seraphin. What is it?
Seraphin. Serafina.
Serafina. Oh yeah, so it's Sarah. Sarah no longer needs help with homework, and Gigi doesn't really have much to do during the day while Sarah's at school.
Oh, so yeah, perfect. That she has a stalker now.
No, right? Oh. But he's like suspicious.
Oh, he's like, yo, how are you?
Why are you still at home? Yeah, what are you?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
She has started offering the strange man sexual favors to get him to speak. But he still only caresses her face, smiles, and leaves. As
so
one does.
Fucking annoying.
People are gonna act like they've never offered a little sexual favor for something, but that's a lie. And
to
I know
speak?
It. No, not to speak.
Give me your name,
please, stalker. It happens to the best of us. And
Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Here we learn. Oh, I think we're in Unknown's point of view. I didn't write it down, but here
you
we
almost
learn
said his name.
Addie's. I did. Shadow is called Z, at least by his coworkers. He is outside a warehouse where some sort of sex trafficking ring is located, and he's receiving information about 12 armed men inside, which is a cakewalk for him.
Yeah.
Z created an organization called Z.
I tip my hat to that.
Named it after himself.
The one thing I always wondered is like how he was able to just kind of stay so far off grid when like he is obviously like kind of a little bit of a narcissist.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He built this organization solely around ending human trafficking. Why? He started out as a hacker who liked to expose the truth about how corrupt the government is, which sounds nice. Sounds like Anonymous. Remember Anonymous?
Yeah.
I miss
don't know where
Anonymous.
I wonder where you get like start off a job like that. I bet he did it himself. Like as soon as he learned how
it
to
was
hack,
just
he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do
self-made,
it."
yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can hack into this.
Exactly.
But then, as he dug deeper on the dark web and the depravity and the sickness of their true nature became clear, he felt compelled to personally snuff out every single one of these people, starting from the bottom. He really enjoyed the killing part, so he had to have his best friend Jay on the hacker side of things. Since he couldn't possibly fill both roles, he had to hire out.
Yeah.
This organization has teams in every state and several in other countries as well.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
And he expanded. Did it say when he started? 5 years ago?
No, not yet.
Oh shit, my bad.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
He slinks through the warehouse and he can hear screams of pain and terror from girls being held, and a white hot rage fills him. He pulls his gun from the back of his jeans. Get a holster. Get a holster.
I'm so confused on why you're
So bad.
Maybe that's just where he prefers to hold his gun.
You know? Okay. He kills he kills the 12 men with his gun, like by shooting them. And at one point, he uses one of their bodies as a shield.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Quote, before his body can topple over, I grip him by the collar of his shirt and bring him close, wincing at the bad breath emanating from the rotting hole in his face. Jeez, oh Pete. But don't worry, he doesn't use other people's bodies as shields unless he has to. He's very respectful in that way.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you're gonna judge this man, you're gonna judge like
I'm judging every facet.
But this is a cool thing to be able to do. Why is that a bad thing? He's using the body of a trafficker. Why is this a bad thing? This is 100%
silly and unbelievable. And
yeah, well, probably, maybe not. I mean, you don't know. There's probably people in the facets of the CIA or the FBI or whatever secret or
okay. So he shot this guy, and then before he could fall, grabbed. That's insane. Okay. He also doesn't shoot his gun unless he's sure he won't miss.
Yeah, he's a good marksman. He takes pride.
He's a good shot. He spots Josh, the ringleader, and Josh makes him drop his gun, or else he had like a girl up against his gun, or she's like, I'm gonna kill them if you don't drop. So he drops his gun. Yeah. And they have like mean guy and good guy banter, and this Josh guy is riding an adrenaline high, so Z thinks he has to act now. So he shoots a guy on his left with a gun in his hoodie pocket. So he reaches into his hoodie, which he has another gun in there.
Okay,
and then he shot somebody. The shock from that gave him time to kill the rest of the men and then incapacitate Josh. He like shot him in the knee or something.
Yeah.
A redheaded Spitfire named Ruby, who is a team member, comes in to get the girls out safely and to not get blood on their feet, because he was really concerned about that. He's like, don't let them step in these puddles of blood. There's blood everywhere. I did that.
It was so intense.
She was a friend of Z's mother, I guess, and used to wipe his ass, is what he said.
Great. So she's got to be older.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, there are 50 girls in this warehouse that had all been kidnapped in the past 6 days.
That's crazy.
Those are big numbers.
I'm sure that's right.
Why did it have to be such big numbers? It literally could have been 6 girls in the past 6 months. And I would have been like,
that's not how it works.
Yes. And it cannot be 50 girls in 6 days.
Probably. I would bet it is.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But there's only 12 men. You would draw way too much attention if you're stealing that many girls in this one area by 12. It doesn't matter. Semantics.
Seattle's big.
Yeah, but they're all in like. Do you think they're traveling to the edges of Seattle?
Probably. They have 2. It's not like they did it in 2 hours.
They did it in 6 days.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but I just don't know. That's a lot of girls for 6 days.
No, it is a lot of girls.
Quote, there's one girl that seems to have taken on the mother hen role with the other girls, and Z approaches her and unchains her collar. Quote, welts and a large bruise encircle her throat, but I don't let her see the rage simmering beneath the surface. She stares at me silently, suspicion and tentative hope warring in her pretty light brown eyes. Her eyes remind me of my little mouse, and something protective flares inside my chest. I hate that.
This is the first time he's compared a woman to his little mouse, which he will do
A
repeatedly
15-year-old
throughout
girl.
the series. Yeah.
And I don't like that he called her eyes pretty. And then her eyes reminded him of the woman that he's going to like stalk and like.
Yeah, no, that part. I don't mind that he calls her eyes pretty. I don't think that's weird.
Oh, I just didn't like it in the context.
Yeah.
Wearing in her pretty little light brown eyes. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But anyways, he escorts this girl, whose name is Cicely, to a van where all the girls will be transported to a hospital and then reunited with their families and then monitored by his team to ensure they don't go missing again, which is like really nice. Like he's got a lot of people. He should look into fixing mental health. So many resources. Anyways.
I don't mind this line of work. This is like the one thing that I can say is like, this is like, I'll be honest. I would say the one thing that I would not say is problematic at all, where I stand behind it 10 toes down, is a vigilante organization that kills human traffickers.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I can get behind in this book. I mean, I can get behind pretty much all of it because I loved it, but it's the only thing that's not problematic in my eyes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then he goes back to his 1979 mustard yellow Mustang convertible and is excited to get out of there because he has a little mouse to play with. I used the summary from Super Summary like as a guide for my notes for this one. And the last line of this chapter is, after saving the girls, Z gets ready to go back to stalking Adeline. He gets ready.
He's finishing up and he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's like
stalk some Addie.
He's like, I gotta get out of here, Ruby. Make sure all those girls are taken care of. Good. I gotta
go stalk someone. Yeah. See you in a bit.
Chapter 7, The Manipulator. Dea tells Addie she needs to get out of the house, but Addie claims she needs to finish the manuscript she's writing. She has plot holes she needs to fill. She says she just needs to throw in a few more spare thoughts here and there that explains these things away. Dea is not having her excuses and tells her that they're having a girls' night. Get ready. We're going clubbing, bitch. Get in, bitch. We're going clubbing.
Get in. I'm so happy. That's so exciting.
Yeah. And you know what? Addie doesn't argue because she's an indie author. She'll publish when she wants to. There's no deadline pressure. There's so many meaningless details of the house when she goes to get ready,
every time.
The heated floors that she had installed because she couldn't stand the thought of getting up in the middle of the night and stepping on cold tile.
Yeah. I think it's just to describe that she has money and like
maybe
she can spend it on these things that are. Yeah, I don't know anyone that doesn't have the money to spend it on heated like flooring.
That doesn't have the money?
Heated flooring is expensive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't have the money. For sure.
Well, she has them. Wait, what did I say?
Yeah, I think you said the opposite of what you meant.
Oh, okay. So take what I said and then do the opposite of what I said.
Yeah. Not a lot of people have enough money for heated floors.
What did I say?
You said, I don't know a lot of people who can't afford heated floors. All my friends are that rich.
Where are your fucking heated floors, bitch?
What are you even doing? I have a person. Do you need his number?
Do you need my person's number?
I noticed your floors are freezing cold.
It's Becky's son that owns it.
Also, when she first got to the house and cranked up, it was like 62 degrees. She cranked it up to 74. That's so hot.
That is actually,
that's obscene.
I was like, wait, no, isn't it supposed to be 68?
Yeah, that's comfortable. Anyways, hard cut. The girls are at a club now. Quote, the bass pumping through the speakers vibrates throughout my body. My black, ripped skinny jeans cling to my curves. And the plunging, low-cut red tank shows off my ample cleavage, along with the small, glistening beads of sweat between my breasts.
Oh,
it's fucking hotter than Hades' ball sack.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, just like the overly flowery details. And it sounds like it's coming from
I can see it in my head,
a poorly written fanfic.
Oh.
Where they like throw in all these details that like are like maybe there's somebody's fetish. Like,
yeah, I mean, I actually collaborated on this novel and I wrote that line specifically.
Well, so. you can collab on novels. You know what? I won't deny the success of the book, so I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're dancing.
Collaborated.
we can probably make a lot of money doing that.
Collaborating
on novels. The girls are dancing with each other mostly and break off to dance with men here and there, but they're mostly boring until one man intrigues Adeline. He calls her beautiful and tells her to come upstairs with him, and she likes his boldness and he's super hot. And he promises her that if she doesn't come, she'll regret it for the rest of her life because he has plans that would leave her naked and sated in his bed. And she's like, okay, let's go. Dea overhears.
Okay.
And they all go to the VIP area together because she's like, I'm not leaving my best friend. Where they find 4 men that have a dark and dangerous feel about them. Quote, all 4 of them could easily ruin my life, and I would be hesitant to stop them. I like that quote.
Yeah, I know, it's good. It is good.
He introduces them as Connor, who's his brother, the twins, Luke and Landon, and Max. And okay, yeah. So, and then he introduces himself as Archibald Talavera III, but you can call me Arch. And she's like, "Oh my God, why did he introduce himself like that? That's crazy. 3 names.
It's a crazy
and the
thing
third?"
to say. Yeah.
They sit down and she gets a text from unknown that says, "Sneaking off with random men, little mouse. If I catch his hands anywhere near you, they'll end up in your mailbox by morning." She has a million questions. She's like, is he here? She like looks around. How does he have my phone number? She worries she might have to opt out of taking Arch home tonight out of concern for his safety. But they hang out for like an hour. Arch is being touchy and feely, and she just imagines his hands in her mailbox. She's just like staring at his hands.
Ugh.
She can't stop thinking about that and the potential aftermath. And quote, it all connects to the fact that I had a stalker, and the police brushed it off when I made my reports of random roses. But it won't change anything for the next girl that's being stalked. It never does. In the end, I'll be another statistic, but will fade away as just that. A beautiful girl stalked by an unhinged man, and no one bothered to help her until it was too late. What the fuck? Like, that's 100% true.
No, it is 100% true. What's
And,
not
like,
true is her describing herself as beautiful, because I know she is, but I would never in my own head be like, when I go missing, everyone's going to be like, she's this beautiful girl.
And she's
like,
amazing, loved by everybody, very talented.
very talented.
Never fought.
It's just not like what I like the way that I would describe myself in my own like
Right.
imaginary version.
No,
of
I
it.
totally know what you mean.
But everything else is so true. Yeah.
That's so funny. Arch notices her tenseness and she says she's fine. He asks if she wants to leave. And you know what? Fuck this stalker. I'm not going to let him dictate who I spend time with. Arch is a tall drink of water. And what if it turns into something more? So she says yes. But only if Dea gets home safe. That's a good friend.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
A good friend would like make sure you got home, like being by their side, attached to their
yeah,
hip.
Arch is like, I can make that happen. And then they left.
Yeah, she trusts this man
Yeah.
that she literally just met 5 seconds ago.
That's so true.
Who's being left
she-
with 3 men.
yeah.
Like that I was like, this is crazy.
She doesn't make good decisions, and she does acknowledge that every step of the way.
Yeah, except for when she thinks she's made a good decision, like right here, and she didn't.
Right,
Because,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
even it's crazy.
Meanwhile, on July 7th, 1944, Gigi's phantom speaks for the first time after she threatens to cut his throat with a knife.
Oh, good.
She like had the knife up to his throat, and he's like, "My name's Ronaldo," and she kisses him and likes it. Chapter 8. The manipulator.
I love that.
Dea takes Luke home, and Adeline brings Arch back to Parsons
Dea
Manor.
takes Luke Combs.
That's how she got home safe. She drove herself there
She drove
with
to
a strange
Luke-
man.
to Luke with Luke Combs.
Oh, Dea takes Luke home.
No, you said it good. It's just when you said it fast, it sounded like Luke Combs.
Dea take Luke Combs.
Dea take Luke Combs.
Okay. Adeline brings Arch back to Parsons Manor. She feels that's the safer option over going to his place, Parsons Manor, that sits on a cliff in the middle of the woods, several miles from civilization, and with a stalker in the woods. Very safe.
She's something else, Adeline.
She leads him to her favorite and least visited room, the sunroom, the solarium. A glass box with a view over the cliff, and Arch is in awe of its beauty. And for a fleeting moment, Adeline perceives melancholy on his face, and she wants to know why. And I thought that was so interesting because I don't have no idea what it means, and
No,
we don't
neither
ever get
do
an
I, and
explanation.
we never
and it's
get.
super not important. But he looks around, he's like, anyways,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What was that?" And then we move on
Maybe it was just like a manipulation tactic.
to disarm her.
That's the only thing that I seriously, that's the only thing I can think.
I have
because
no
it
idea.
does not come back around.
I just think it just might not be important, and it's irrelevant.
But just like
meaningless.
to very specifically point out someone's facial expressions.
Right. And then it doesn't
yeah.
mean anything.
Yeah, she didn't. Whoever the author didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
HD Carlton.
HD.
That's the least of my worries. That little thing. In the back of her head, she does realize that she has a stalker and is in the room that's all windows, like perfect for a stalker.
Yeah.
But part of her doesn't care if he sees. They start the foreplay part of this encounter, and there's a moment where he makes her moan, and he says, "Fuck, baby, that's it. Let me hear you sing now." And you sing so pretty. And do you sing pretty when you come, Addie? And I was like, oh, that's it for me. I'm out. I'm out.
I will say that some of the dirty talk in this, like not all of it, but some of it was really cringy.
I didn't like any of it. And she finishes and he says, "Such a pretty bird." And I can only think of like that scene in Dumb and Dumber where he's like, "Pretty bird, pretty bird." The blind kid petting the dead bird. Never seen that?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Directly after this, she sees something move outside and knows that he's out there. This worries her slightly, but not enough to stop, and she just suggests a move to her bedroom. But he convinces her to stay, and she starts to take her pants off. He's like, "No, why don't we stay and also take your pants off?" And so she starts to take her pants off when a loud bang somewhere else in the house kills the mood. She almost pees her pants. It's so scary. But she's also foot-stompingly frustrated, she said.
Yeah.
Because her stalker is ruining this sexy night.
Well, yeah, she got fingered to completion.
Yeah, he did it. He did it good. She liked it. But Arch goes to investigate, which is nice. That's better than Grayson did.
Yeah.
Quote, "This situation turns me on as much as it terrifies me. I need to check myself into a mental hospital if I survive this night." End quote. She should have.
Yeah.
She'd probably be safe. She watches as Arch pulls a gun out of his pants, walks out the front door, and shuts it. And she's like, "Who the fuck is this guy? And what's about to happen between him and my shadow? Like, why does he have a gun on him?"
This was so crazy to me because he obviously pulled out his gun and then he looks back at her and he tells her to go behind, like, into a hallway. So he goes, "I don't want them to see you."
Yeah.
And, like, he makes it seem like whoever's at the door was actually for him. And also that he didn't want whoever it was to see Adeline. Like, he was worried about her safety. So in these moments, I'm like, obviously he's done some shady shit, but, like, is he a good guy? And I was going to... Thought we were going to have some sort of sick love triangle.
That doesn't happen. No. After several moments of silence, she goes outside to see what happened, and Arch's car is still there, and she steps on a bloody rose with the thorns cut off, so when Addie picked up her fingers, it would keep her safe from being cut, from minor cuts. But just remember that her shadow cuts off the fucking thorns for her. I think that's so funny. To keep her fingers safe. And Arch is gone, by the way. She pulls her phone out to call the cops, and there's another text from unknown. Quote, "Don't feel guilty, baby. I don't make idle threats, so consider this a lesson learned." The police arrive, and the Sheriff Walters, who is a family friend, he asks for the name of the missing man, and he's like, "Whoa, that guy's a really well-known criminal from a pretty notorious family of criminals that allegedly deal mostly with cocaine." And he's known to be very violent. So he's like, he said, like, it's probably good that he disappeared.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. All she can think is if Arch's family is going to come after her now, and like add that to her list of stressors.
Yeah, because the cop made her believe that.
Well, he did. She says like, are they going to come after me? And he's like, "Oh no, don't even worry about them. They have bigger fish to fry." He asks about the rose, and she says that she's like, "Oh yeah, I have a stalker." He leaves roses. She said she's made many police reports, which he knows nothing about because her file is empty of such reports. He had looked into it right before they come over. She's freaking out, but he promises to look into it. And then he tells her that the Talavera family, they might actually come after you now that you have a stalker. I didn't know that before. So, just keep that in mind, Sadie. And I'll see you later.
I'll see you later. If you have any problems, let me know.
Yeah. He promises to do everything in her power to keep her safe, but it feels empty. Meanwhile, on September 10th, 1944, great crumbly Gigi.
Oh.
She's getting stripped into her underwear by Ronaldo an hour after her daughter left for school, but he just teases her and then he leaves. He doesn't do a whole lot.
Gigi is something else.
Yeah, she's going through something. Chapter 9, The Shadow. Unknown says, he's still unknown to Adeline, so I kept writing that. Unknown says that he has committed a homicide, cold-blooded murder many times, but never out of jealousy. But Archibald Talavera had his lips on my girl and his hands down her pants, and he had to die for it.
From it, like
it, this is
like
funny.
it's a disease. From it.
Keep going till you starve to death. Stay away from my girl. She doesn't want to talk to you.
She doesn't want to talk to you.
Scram. That's why Z killed Arch. Oh, we don't know yet.
Oh.
And then he's like, plus Arch was a psychopath, a real one.
Yeah.
Like he's not a real psychopath.
Yeah.
He explains to us, the readers, about Arch's abuse toward his ex-wife and how he left their family alone up until now because they're ants compared to the other criminals in the city. He also tells us that he, of course, had destroyed all evidence of Adeline's police report.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he just did that. He could.
Casually, yeah.
He just could.
Yeah.
He has to hurry up and kill Arch so he can get back to what's important, making Adeline mine and simultaneously dismantling the pedophile rings in the entire world. Now we're in his POV, starting when he bangs on Addie's front door. He subdues Arch, stabs him twice in the stomach. He punches him in the back of the head, which knocks Arch out cold. And then he's holding him up by the back of his jacket. Just like he did with the guy that was blocking the bullets.
Oh, yeah.
And he needs to staunch the wound so he doesn't bleed out. But before he does, he takes the rose that's been in his mouth this whole time.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And dips it in Arch's bleeding stomach wound, and then like annoyedly throws it at the foot of the front door because he's like annoyed that he has to staunch his bleeding, but he's got to get this rose to send Eddie a message.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he takes the body back to his Mustang and drives off, and he'll work on destroying evidence later, and Arch's family will blame one of their enemies, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
More
they
than
never
likely.
explain how he gets Arch's car out of there or who does. No one talks about his car again.
Wait, did we drive there? Oh, yeah. Did Arch drive her? He just said he'd get her home. So maybe they were in a car service.
I think so, because when she went to go like check on him, his car was still there. So when, right when this happened.
Oh, well, okay. So he goes missing, but they know he was murdered.
Right. But they never bring up, because of the hands thing. Yeah, but how did his car, where did it go? It's probably
The police
still sitting
probably
on
took it.
Yeah, probably.
I think they take it and put it like the impound
I just
lot.
thought it was funny that it was never mentioned.
Yeah.
In the Mustang, Arch is running his mouth about how important him and his family are, and Z punches him in the face, all while keeping his Mustang straight, so he doesn't swerve an inch. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
And I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Arch is hogtied in the back seat, and there's some cloth keeping it from bleeding out. He takes Arch back to his warehouse that Z had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars turning into an impenetrable fortress filled with illegal technology. This is so silly. He punches Arch again, once in the face when they get to the warehouse. Oh, and then the crunch of his bones is orgasmic for Z.
Because he touched his little mouse. Because he touched his little mouse.
He dropped. Why is he turn him on though? It turns him on. He drops him on a table next to another table where Josh is lying dead. And we know Josh was the
pedophile,
like
ringleader.
Yeah,
that
he was
killed.
like
they shot the kneecap.
He was like the local manager.
Yeah, he was a local manager. He wasn't anything big.
He wasn't general. Josh had given him good info. All the while he was watching Adeline in the club meeting Arch. I put Josh. Okay, so while Z is killing and torturing Josh for information, he's watching Addie on the cameras meeting Arch. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a
Sounds
busy
right
man.
to me.
Busy man.
Yeah, well, he has to multitask.
Multitasking.
He's trying to take down human trafficking.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So he killed 12 men, saved 50 girls under 15, stalked Addie, came back to torture info out of Josh, watched Addie go to the club, went to her house to kidnap Arch, and then killed and tortured Arch. This is like in 24 hours. No, it's over a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So Z tells Arch why he's doing this, and Arch is like, "Are you serious? Because that girl wanted me and not you. Like, sorry, she didn't want you." And then Z said, "Quote: What he doesn't know is that the minute I properly introduce myself to Adeline Riley, she won't be able to think of anyone else. I will devour her from the inside out until every intake of breath will only stoke the inferno I've created inside her. Like oxygen feeding a fire, I will consume every inch of her sweet little body until she will think of nothing else but how to get me deeper inside of her. Jesus Christ.
It's definitely a plan that he put in.
And what's funny is Arch is like just find another girl. Like there's a million girls. Like why are you killing me like over this one thing? I didn't even put my dick inside of her. And he's like, she didn't even like you. She doesn't even know you. And he's like, she will. She literally doesn't know him. It's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
It is fair.
But he's really mad that Arch touched his girl. So he like kills him with a screwdriver, and it's a very long scene.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Interesting that he did it with a screwdriver.
I mean, he's one of the ones I could have said should have maybe had a quicker death. No, I like it.
It's tough. It doesn't matter.
Draw it out.
I don't care.
Me, baby.
He could have lived or died or thrown off a cliff or moved away. I don't care. He is aware that Arch's family is a crime family, and he would have taken care of them sooner, but like they're not that serious. So that's. It sounds like someone actually called him out for not taking out this family sooner. He's like, well, I would have, but like they're not dangerous.
Defend it over several chapters.
Yeah, to
just
nobody.
So everyone knows.
Like to us.
God, okay. I know I should have maybe done it before.
Okay, so he hasn't taken out their family because they weren't that serious, but now he'll have to just in case any of them seek revenge for his death. It's like just unfortunate for their whole family.
Yeah.
Chapter 10, The Manipulator. Dea had hacked a bunch of cameras and phones and concludes that it was probably Addie's shadow that stole Arch. And like, shit, like that's not good. They're thinking.
Yeah.
Dea is going to hook Addie up with a security system, and she's not going to let her best friend be more of a statistic than she already is. That's what she said. Like, I know you're like feeling like marking a lot of charts right now, but no more.
Yeah, we're going to stop this in its tracks.
The clairvoyant UPS man who can sense evil at Parsons Manor drops off copies of Addie's book. Like, why did they put that in there? He dropped off like 8 boxes of Addie's books. But there's one box that doesn't have books in it. Instead, it has Arch's hands in it with a bloody note as well. Adeline calls Dea, and Dea says, calm down, go chug several alcohols, and I'll be right over. They read the note, and it says, quote, while I enjoy punishing you for every time you call the police, let's hold off this time. Wouldn't want to have to hurt them next, little mouse. Dea says they can hire... No notes. Perfect. I wouldn't have changed a thing. Dea says they can hire a trained killer type bodyguard for Adeline, but she's like, no, that'll be super embarrassing. That'll be super embarrassing if I have a bodyguard. Like, I'm not a damsel in distress. Like, that's crazy. I would never protect myself like that. No. Like, how dare you? Dea has a friend coming over to install the cameras later. And in the meantime, she offers to dispose of the hands, which is really nice. She's like, you know what? I can go buy her these in the woods for you. A week later, Dea calls Addie and tells her that Arch's entire family is dead. No evidence, no witnesses, no leads. Addie is relieved. At least they won't be coming after her then. And Dea's happy too because like that family was just like, they were all pieces of shit. So it doesn't matter.
The dad had a rap sheet. The brother had even a worse rap sheet than
their lives had no value.
Ours. You were adding no value. We're gonna have to let you go. You're fired.
No one cares. Her shadow hasn't really made himself known since the severed hands incident. But now, as she settles down to write, she hears a creak upstairs. She grabs a knife from the kitchen and charges upstairs. She creeps down the hallway, holding all her weight on her toes. And she said, quote, no fucking idea how ballerinas do it. Well, like, how the fuck is she walking around that she thinks that ballerinas do that? She on the tip of her toes? Is she creeping around the house like a ballerina? Pirouetting? I feel like you didn't notice these lines until like we're talking about them. What?
I'm just picturing her walking on her tiptoes.
Yeah, your knees have to be like kind of bent for that too. got a knife in her hand.
Why'd she compare herself?
That's what I'm saying.
To a ballerina.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. I have another quote directly after that. Quote, adrenaline steadily releases into my bloodstream like injecting heroin in a vein. Why would you say that? And how did you know that? She doesn't find anyone in the house, but she notices one of Gigi's diaries is on the floor and she left it on her nightstand. I remember. It's the third of Gigi's trilogy, and she notices a page is torn out from it. So was it a ghost or what? A justice-seeking ghost? Or was Shadow in here? Or I don't know. Daya comes back over, and she hacks the local PD database, and they look at Gigi's crime scene photos. That's not funny. She's still laughing from earlier. Adeline deduces that Gigi's stalker's obsession must have been one of a deadly variety. You know, there's like the non-deadly stalking situations and then the deadly ones.
Stop making jokes.
They conclude that they either need to find out who this Ronaldo character is and or find the missing page of the diary to continue investigating this murder. Quote, this was undoubtedly a crime of passion. And if I know anything, stalkers tend to be deeply passionate about their obsessions. She doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
That night, by the way, like Gigi was like slit across the throat. It was like very gruesome crime scene photos, and they're just like going through them.
Yeah,
just like swiping. They're like, wow, this is crazy.
And there were cigarette burns on her hand.
Yeah, I could never look at crime scene photos of
like
a direct
family?
relative. Yeah. Oh my god, no. That night, Addie wakes up in a cold sweat. There are footsteps outside her door. They come up to her bedroom door and pause, and she runs to grab a screwdriver, which is an interesting parallel to earlier because that's what he killed Arch with.
Yeah.
That is so weird to me.
Well, because she has it next to her bed.
Because she was like
building
it's
desk.
It's okay, you guys. We can explain the screwdriver. Okay? Don't worry. She was using it. Then the footsteps retreat. And then the footsteps retreat. Then the footsteps retreat. And then she hears her front door shut. She looks out the window and sees Z walking out of her house. And she wonders if he wants to hurt her or love her. Which variety of stalker is he? He turns and smiles at her, even though he probably can't see her. And then he disappears into the tree line. He walks into the woods.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on September 10th, 1944, Gigi and John, her husband, are becoming distant. And Gigi doesn't care. She's like, that's okay. I can work with this. I can work with this.
This is a marriage I can get behind.
Ronaldo. I just learned his name. Just threatened it out of him, actually.
I don't know how I'm going to do this.
I don't either.
Chapter 11, The Manipulator. Adeline reads through Gigi's journals looking for clues about her murder. Daya helps her by sending over documents from the original investigation. Adeline's investigation is cut short by a thump in the kitchen, and she sees Z outside of her lawn. Wait, where did he get
outside her lawn,
mowing,
mowing the edge of the lawn.
He's mowing
on the tree line so we can get in and out easier.
Because she's at home right now. Adeline's investigation. I can't. I just keep picturing him mowing now.
He's clearing a path for himself.
I can't stop thinking because Adeline's investigation is cut short by a thump in the kitchen, and she sees Z outside on her lawn, walking through the tree line towards her house, and he's smoking a cigarette.
Gross.
That is a red flag.
Eternally gross. First red flag.
That is the first red flag I've seen so far.
Well,
he had come back after the other night, and he apparently has the ability to splice camera footage, so he wasn't detected through her camera security system that Daya had helped, had her installed for her house.
Yeah, easy peasy. Stuff.
Well, every time he mentions Jay, he every single time he feels the need to mention that he is actually better at hacking than Jay.
I taught him, so he's not as good.
Every single
I didn't teach him
time
everything.
through both books.
Does he really? In the second book? That's hilarious.
Yes.
He's like, I love him, but he's not better.
He's very good, but not as good as me. And he's only good because I taught him. Enraged, Adeline grabs a butcher knife, thank God, and she grabs her phone to call 911. So it's one hand with a butcher knife, the other with a phone. But before she does call 911, she sees him shaking his head at her.
He's like, don't you fucking do that.
Saying no. Adeline drops the knife, apparently, and charges out of the house.
Why?
To
go before I
him.
go out there, I'm just going to toss this.
We don't really know what the situation for tossing the knife is. But she confronts him, pushing him in the chest and demanding to know what he wants. And she hasn't even seen his whole face. Like she mentions she can't see his whole face because there's a shadow.
Oh, and he has a hood on probably.
A shadow so dark that
he must have a hood on, like a hoodie.
Yeah, but
and then the light's coming from behind.
You would still be able to see someone's face.
Above. There's a lamppost right above him, and it throws a shadow over his face. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I still feel like you'd be able to see him. He does not respond, but he licks his lips.
Ew.
And walks away.
Disgusting. With his smoke breath.
With his smoke breath, which was literally the biggest red flag in the book. 3 days later, Z shows up on her lawn again, and Adeline grabs her phone to call the police. Z shakes his head again, and Adeline pretends that there is a person in her house when she hears a thump or footsteps upstairs.
She's
in the
like,
attic.
"Oh, Dad, I'll be right up. I'm just talking to my stalker."
Yeah. No, she's pretending that there's another man in the house.
Oh.
And she yells at
get him
the
going.
man. Yeah, to try and annoy him and frustrate him.
Yeah.
Z is confused, but he checks his phone for something. And
He's
she's
like, wait a second,
that's
if there's
weird.
anybody in your house, let me take a look.
Yeah. And he stays for 15 more minutes.
What?
Staring at Adeline while she stares back like they're having a staring contest through the
insane.
window.
15 minutes. So she's like...
Could you imagine? That'd be my worst nightmare, staring at a window at someone for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Later, Dea and Adeline go out for a book signing event together. Dea and Adeline return to Parsons Manor to find a single light on in the house. But Adam's like, I
turned
left
all these
any
fucking
of
lights
the
off.
I turned off all the lights. But she's feeling a little drunk and a little I don't know, low in
Smarts?
self-preservation
Yeah.
skills.
My self-preservation bar is drained.
And she charges into the house to confront Z.
Nice.
When they get in there, he's not in there, obviously.
Good.
She checks the whole house.
Oh.
But Dea and Adeline notice that the living room is full of roses. And there's a whiskey glass on the counter, empty.
How many roses?
I don't know how big her living room is.
I just imagine his Mustang trunk is just full and it's all over the back seat.
Yeah,
all over the front seat.
Yeah.
Just roses everywhere. He had
did
to
he
go to
make
several
multiple
different
trips?
rows. He had to go to different flower stores.
Or he had to make multiple trips. Or what if he brought a little trailer?
He brought a trailer. That's a good idea. Yeah.
A tiny trailer. They call the police to investigate, and Adeline agrees to spend the night at Dea's house. Once Adeline settles in at Dea's, she is surprised to see a man outside of the bedroom window when she goes to sleep.
Is it him?
She tries to call Dea, but Z sends her a message before she can. And he's like, "What's the matter, baby? You didn't like the flowers?"
Oh my God. She should have been like, Dea, we got a stalker. We both now have one.
No, we both got one. You got your own, I got mine. You get a stalker. You get a stalker. You get a stalker. Yay. And then, of course, we have diary entry, September 18th, 1944. Gigi notes that Ronaldo was hurt when she saw him. And she had to nurse him back to health, and his boss is a dick, and then they have sex.
Nice.
Gigi is ashamed because of John, but she doesn't regret it.
Yeah, okay.
So.
She likes the stalker.
Sex. Chapter 12, The Shadow. Z arrives at his headquarters / house with a new video from Jay. The video shows 4 men killing a teenage boy in a ritual type setting.
It's crazy.
They were wearing
hoods on. He's on a
hoods on,
slab of rock.
marking themselves with his blood. This isn't the first video that they got. And he suspects that there is a ring of high-profile people performing these rituals regularly.
Crazy.
Z thinks about how hard it is for him to watch videos of trafficking victims being tortured and murdered.
Oh.
And it takes him to a very dark place.
That sounds like probably everyone's experience if they did that.
And for these reasons, he is heavily invested in ending human trafficking altogether.
Because I can watch these videos, I do. And because these videos make me feel this way,
I'm going to end it.
I'm going to end it. It's a crazy cycle.
He could probably hack into the lottery and win. That'd be crazy.
He should do that.
But to get his money?
Yeah, that's how he should fund
literally
his...
Why hasn't he thought about this?
That would have been a good idea.
Why hasn't the author thought about this?
Yeah. I mean, he could probably start expanding like twice the rate if he did that.
100%.
There's got to be a way he can like fuck up these rapists' lives through the internet.
Probably. But you can't control all of the internet because it's his own entity.
He can.
He can't control the internet.
No, but like you can still like cancel people's credit cards. Disconnect their Tesla from their phone or something. Fuck up their day-to-day lives.
Cancel people's
Just like sign them up for a bunch of subscriptions.
Are they using their credit cards for human trafficking purposes?
No, but like in their day-to-day life, I'm saying,
yeah,
just make the pettiest little things. Or you could set them up for crimes.
Yeah.
But that's not fun because the police can do whatever they want with that info.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, tangent. You could. That'd be so fun. Like, I can't get to them now, but I can fuck up their finances.
Yeah.
For the next couple days.
Right, exactly. The first video of the ritual that Z saw involved 4 senators, and it came to him about 9 months ago. Those Z suspects that they're just part of a bigger organization. So there's like a bigger situation going on here.
Like an MLM.
Like they're
type
just,
situation.
they're like, those are the puppets.
Yeah.
There's a master. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then above him, another master.
Yeah.
More puppets. Because it's like a pyramid scheme. It is, though. I mean, like, when you think about it.
Later, Z is in Parsons Manor, and he is definitely experiencing some supernatural presences in the home.
Yeah, he's being haunted.
And he's like, and he isn't afraid. Like, he's like, I'm the monster that people fear, not these little, ghosties.
What is a ghost going to do to you? Nothing. Me?
Yeah, he
Haven't
just
found
like,
out yet.
they're just an insignificance to him. Like, he doesn't actually.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Even ghosts aren't scary. Like, he's getting haunted. And he's
Nothing
like,
scares Z. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. He rewatches the video on repeat in Adeline's kitchen, sipping on Adeline's grandfather's whiskey while she sleeps upstairs.
What video?
Of the video of someone being killed by 4 men.
Oh, right. So yeah, we're still there. Yeah. The ritual.
Z is thinking about how he moved to Seattle specifically to end the trafficking ring involved in the rituals. And he is grateful that he had met Adeline as a result.
Sure he is. I'm sure he is.
Chapter 13, The Manipulator. Adeline catches a glimpse of what she thinks is Gigi's ghost walking into the attic. Adeline's like, fuck. I don't want to go into the attic. But obviously, Gigi wants me there. So
clearly,
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
It's probably not one of the 5 men that died in the fire.
No, well, she said it might. You never know. And it almost feels as though there's an evil presence / demon up there.
Does this ever get answered?
No. Like, kind of, but like not really
crazy.
well. I don't know how to explain it. Adeline asks the ghost to show her what she needs from the attic. She's like, please, why am I up here, Gigi? And a board falls. But it's... from the ceiling? Yeah, I don't... Okay, so I didn't understand.
Okay.
Because, like, she's like, a board falls. And then she's like, I know I need to pry up that flooring. And so then she pries up the flooring, like almost breaking off her nails, and then she sticks her hand inside the floorboards.
Do you think the hollow noise of the board falling onto the floor reminded her that she needed to fix the floor? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's
She's
hilarious.
and she had to pry it out, and she like hurt her fingernails. And she sticks her hand inside the floorboard when she finally gets it up. And she finds 2 notes. The first note says, and I quote, "I did what I was told to do because if I didn't, I know I'd be next. So this is my confession. This is my confession. I helped him cover up the murder. I'm so sorry."
Oh, damn. So that was John.
The second note says, "I have to be quick. He says he's on his way and I'm terrified. If I run, he'll catch me. So I'm writing this note in hopes someone will find it. If something happens to me, John, it was..." ... Yeah.
Ripped off, unfinished.
Yeah. And obviously the bottom one was from the ripped page that was from Gigi's journal. She had like a ripped page at the very end of her third one. And that was it.
I like that someone tried to hide something that didn't have any vital information on it. Who did that?
I actually know, but Adeline is frustrated that the diary entry cuts out before the reveal. She angrily goes to her room and slams the door shut. Later, Z is watching Adeline again. She doesn't call the police because she feels there's no point. By the time they get there, he will be gone, and the police report will probably be deleted last time.
Does she assume that he's doing it? I don't think she does. She's just like,
yeah, I think she did.
My police reports aren't going through.
Wait, yeah. Right? How did she realize that?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
He probably tells her.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that now, but she thinks that she knows that that's happening.
Yeah. Which is like, I guess like internet's not good enough for them to submit.
See, my first thought when they said that the police reports had been deleted, I was like, they didn't even bother to file it.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
That was
he's just hacking into the mainframe like.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, I'm really confused.
That is hilarious.
Z and Adeline exchange a series of texts in which Adeline threatens to call the police and Z threatens to punish her for it. He's like, go ahead, do it, little mouse, but I'll have fun. I'll enjoy punishing you later.
Goodness.
I love when he calls her baby and little mouse.
Yeah, me too. I think it's embarrassing. If someone called me little mouse, I'd be like,
I mean, yeah, I don't want it in public, but
this isn't gonna work out.
Adeline does call the police because obviously Z is being a little bit antagonizing, I'd say.
A little scary.
But Z leaves before they arrive. I don't know.
Just like she said.
I wouldn't say that he was being like scary. I mean, stalking her.
Yes, he is. Stalkers are scary.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying stalkers aren't scary, but I'm like saying past the stalking.
Just sending threatening text messages.
Okay, fine. He is being scary. When the police arrive, Adeline repeats the story, but she does not show the officer the text messages, feeling that they are private. She does have a ping.
Those are mine. They're personal.
These can't help at all. They won't know.
No.
She feels a pang of regret for calling the police at all, feeling as though he might make good on his promise.
She's a pig.
To punish her.
Yeah, she wants him.
Later at Dea's, Adeline tells Dea about the whole situation that had happened the night before. She worried that Z may have access to her nude photos that Adeline keeps on her phone. Because, like...
She's like, hurry up and deletes them.
Yeah, she deletes the photos. Then finally tells Dea that Z has texted her. So she's thinking that, like, when he's texting her, he's like, oh, he has access. He can, like, splice into my technology.
Right.
He probably can hack my phone.
Yeah.
Kind of
Has
thing.
He already?
Yeah, does he have my nudes? Exactly. Dea is upset that Adeline hid that information from her, but she tries to trace the text messages. Dea is unable to trace the number, and she suspects that Z may have gotten the nude photos and may be videotaping Adeline in her home.
What the fuck? You know, he probably didn't get those nudes, and he's probably recording them.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
At every step of the way.
Beware.
She probably unclip your bedroom camera.
Yeah. Dea tells Adeline that Luke, one of the men that she took home to sleep with,
to her house.
Yeah, has been asking her about Arch and Adeline and what happened the night that Arch went missing.
Oh, yeah.
Though Dea thinks that she has convinced Luke that Adeline is not involved in Arch's death, Dea and Adeline both fear that they may be targeted by Arch's friends.
Yeah, that would suck. Scary.
Diary entry dated September 22nd, 1944. Both Ronaldo and John are in the mafia. Gigi is conflicted because on the one hand, she knows this job is keeping their family off the streets, like under a roof. But also it's dangerous. And Ronaldo has killed, but she still wants to keep fucking him.
Whoa.
So that's the whole intrigue.
So wait, so we know that they're in the mafia right now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. She found out.
Damn. And she's like, oh my God, I'm in the mafia. It's crazy.
Well, she's not in the mafia.
Pretty much, you can't go talking about them.
Well, she's writing in her diary that she has a safe for, so I think she's...
Should have hid that sheet.
Yeah. Chapter 14, The Manipulator. Days put a block... My autocorrect changes it from Dea to days.
I see that.
So I fear that's why I keep saying days.
I fear.
Dea put a block on Adeline's phone to prevent hacking. She vows not to take any nude photos again in her lifetime. Adeline does.
Yeah, good luck.
Dea and Adeline continue working on their own work responsibilities, aka Dea with her hacking stuff, Adeline with her looking through photos of Gigi.
Oh, she's trying to solve this crime.
Yeah, I don't know what she's looking for, but yes.
She's just curious. She's like, was it the stalker? I need to know.
Yeah.
Because I have a stalker, and if he's going to kill me, I need to know about this.
I need to know about this.
Yeah.
I would like to get my affairs in order.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
While they have a little bit of a work break, they make plans to attend Satan's Affair, which is a Halloween fair that features a ton of haunted houses.
Sounds fun.
All with the same theme, which is really fun.
Reminds me of Halloween Weekends at Cedar Point, which you wouldn't know about.
I wouldn't know about it.
Maybe this month we'll go.
Yeah. Adeline has a long-standing fascination with Halloween, including Satan's Affair. That's been a yearly ritual for them.
Yeah.
When Dea leaves, Adeline receives another text from Z asking her if she is ready for her punishment. At first...
You ready?
This is not good. At first,
oh, no.
At first, Adeline challenges Z, but she then finds herself afraid he might be in her home. She looks for him, and she finds him on her balcony, smiling and holding a knife.
Oh my God. Jeez, oh Pete's.
Yeah.
I turn around.
And yeah.
Walk away.
During that time, he was texting her, and he was like, "Come find me, little mouse." And when she's about to go up the stairs, she stops because she's like scared.
This is what he wants.
And he's like, "Oh, you scared or whatever?" And he taunts her, and that's why she goes up the stairs into her room, which is where the balcony is, which is where he's holding the knife.
Oh my God.
Okay. Diary entry, November 18th, 1944. Gigi can't get enough of Ronaldo. John and Frank are going fishing today, and she gets to see her little side ting. He makes her feel things that she hasn't felt in a very long time. She tries to hide it from John, but he is suspicious anyway. Obviously.
I wonder what she's not hiding. What is he?
The affair.
Yeah, but how? How does he know?
Because she's been
Happier.
She said she's been trying to stop herself from smiling, but she can't stop it, and stuff like
just
that.
Just giggling to herself in the corner.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of
She's blushing all the time.
Exactly.
I see it.
You're spot on. Chapter 15, The Manipulator. Adeline is frozen and breathless, looking at Z. Adeline challenges Z to remove his hood, calling him kitty cat because he calls her little mouse.
Yeah.
And when he does, she recognizes him from the first book signing, the guy that she made intensive eye contact with.
Yes.
He approaches her and grabs her knife, letting it cut him, and then he throws it away.
It's insane. By the blade.
By the blade. He goes by the blade.
Okay. So his left hand is
and he
bloody
pries
now.
it out of her hand, too. Okay, I can't. Okay.
I assume he uses his left hand. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. He presses against on his left hand. He presses against her, and she asks him to leave. She's terrified of him, but she's also consumed by him, intoxicated by him. He mocks the fact that she's about to cry, and she asks if he's there to kill her. And he says he doesn't want to kill her. He wants to keep her.
Ooh.
He proposes a deal that if Adeline can hide from him, he'll leave.
I forgot about this part.
I know. She runs down the stairs in an intense game of hide and seek, and she hides in the closet on the first floor. However, she is pretty much immediately found, and he tells her that he can smell her, like while he's like looking for
he
her.
probably just watched her through the cameras. Just watched where she went.
These are not. None of these things are things that I'm thinking.
Yeah, he probably just claimed to have been able to smell her.
Shit. Well, she darts to the front door, but it's unlocked. But it's locked.
It's not good. She got to lock herself in.
She darts to the front door, but it's locked, and she doesn't have time to unlock it and run before he'll be on her and like pulling her back.
Okay, that's
So she's like, because she hears his voice. Okay.
How long
she's
does it
like-
take you to unlock your front door?
I don't know.
There must be like Daya must have installed a bunch of like deadlocks down
Yeah.
down the scene. It would take several minutes to get out.
So she runs to the back door, and Z is already waiting for her.
Oh my!
Like, yeah. She fights and
So
yells.
she could have went out.
What?
She could have just went out.
She could have just went out the front door. Yeah, yeah. She fight. Yeah, she.
Because he's going to the back
It's
door.
like she literally ran to him, basically.
She did.
She fights and yells, but he tells her he likes her scared. Z's punishment is to bite Adeline's neck repeatedly, like deep, hard, in a way of claiming her. Adeline then is like, okay, fuck this, and bites his cheek to try and get him away from her. And she draws blood, and she's like, I don't care.
There you go. You just left your mark. Now you can call the police.
Yeah.
There's evidence.
But that only makes Z more frustrated. So Z brings her to the sunroom. She continues to fight and claw and scratch the whole way there. Z comments on how she and Arch were intimate in there, and he takes out a gun. Normally, this is a direct quote. Normally, I'd replace his fingers with my own, but I think you need something else to teach you a lesson. She starts to apologize, but he cuts her off. Shh. You're not sorry yet, little mouse, but you will be.
Crazy.
So, that's this is one of my worst
Chapters.
Yeah. Diary entry dated January 14th, 1945. Gigi speaks about an argument with Ronaldo. John's friend Frank tried to cheer her up, but Gigi is torn between leaving John and Serafina for Ronaldo. Why would she need to leave her child? Whatever. Whom she knows nothing about, and continuing to disappoint Ronaldo when both she and Ronaldo express severe jealousy.
Okay.
Yeah. So they both get jelly.
Little tidbit.
What are you gonna do?
This whole next scene is funny. When you said they went to the sunroom, which I forgot about that. I pictured it happening like outside.
Oh, really?
Like right in front of his car.
No, yeah.
I don't know why.
Right in front of his car. Yeah,
Like
it was
right between the house and his car.
Yeah, it was right in the same spot
So,
where
where Arch.
her and Arch, where she
Yeah.
got finger banged by Arch,
Mm-hmm.
and
He's like, what better place to do it than here?
rub that away, erase that memory from your head.
Okay, chapter 16, The Manipulator. Major trigger warning for sexual assault, rape, and gunplay.
Yeah.
Skip ahead like 5 minutes if you don't want to hear that. With the threat of the gun, Z sexually assaults Addie while she cries and repeatedly begs him to stop. So, like, sexually assaults her with the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not yet. Okay, I think that was like, that's the summary of the chapter. That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Addie asks if he's going to shoot her. He says he's not. He makes her take off her leggings, then t-shirt. He abuses her with his teeth and calls the bruises and marks a sign of his ownership of her. At one point, he touches her panties and, quote, "These are soaked," he rasps out, and his lips still wet from his saliva. It's fucking disgusting. He makes her suck on the gun, then assaults her with it, like
In her
vaginally,
inside her.
like
Yeah.
you would imagine. He makes her tell him that she learned her lesson in letting other men touch her and that he's the only one allowed to touch her. He makes her rub herself to an orgasm while he assaults her with the gun. When he's done, he throws another rose that he must have just had in his back pocket at her and leaves. Afterwards, she feels all the emotions you could guess one would be feeling after this assault. And then for the next 3 nights, he stands outside her house smoking, which eternally gross.
Very gross.
And they stare at each other. And this whole time that she's that he's smoking, like every time he's smoking, she calls it a cherry.
Yeah, cherry red flame.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
did she say anything about the flame part? She just called it a cherry, like Zayn and his cherry. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I didn't realize it was like the
I
cigarette.
thought they always
yeah.
said cherry red.
Maybe
cherry red.
Yeah. Cherry red. Like
something
cherry
like
red what, bitch? Cigarette. It's gross. She struggles with feelings of arousal and also, quote, I had never felt more debased as a human until that moment. Never more humiliated, end quote. Addie and Dea are out eating lunch or dinner, and Addie is wearing a turtleneck. Quote, I can never let Dea see those marks, nor could I ever confess the new meaning of my stalker gave to finger banging. Quote of the week.
Listen, I'm not
Beautiful writing, amazing imagery. Love it. Dea.
It's good. Oh, you're serious? Are you being serious?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's good.
It's crazy.
It's a good line in the context.
Oh God, I don't know. Dea does ask about the stalker, but Addie deflects to talk about Gigi. She's like, about your stalker. She's like, no. What's going on with Gigi?
About my dead great grandma.
Yeah, Dea thinks that Ronaldo was involved with the mob in the 1940s. I thought we had already established that, or just she didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then someone approaches with hello ladies and sits down next to Addie, like while they're at lunch, like in a booth. And I was so scared that it was Z. I was like, oh my God.
That would have been crazy.
He's like, come, but it's Max. Remember, Max was one of the four.
The best friends.
The best friends, yeah.
Of
one of Arch's surviving friends is what I wrote down.
Yeah. So the only one, yeah. So
everyone else is dead.
Max, and Luke and Landon are the only ones that survived.
Yeah, R.I.P. Connor.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Connor.
No, let's not, because
Drink
he
it, Joni. Don't
was
pour one
known
out.
as
Yeah, they're all
he was a known rapist.
allegedly. You know?
Okay, yeah,
His brother.
yeah.
All
That's
of
what
them?
That's what. Yes, we.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what they said. Like they said after their mother died, the father started building his mob empire.
Of course, yeah, as one
and
does.
started like beating and sexually assaulting women. And
Okay, I kinda do
he has
remember.
a
And then
long
they fell
rap
into
sheet.
their
And Connor,
footsteps.
yeah, and Connor had a similar rap sheet that was worse than Arch's. So he was worse than Arch. Yeah.
God. Anyways, Max wants to hear Addie's story from her POV about what happened to Arch. She doesn't give him any new info, and her and Dea both insist that neither of them had anything to do with Arch's death. But he knows about the severed hands incident and is skeptical. He's like, well, what about the hands showing up on your porch? What's up with that?
What are
And
you
she's
gonna
like, we don't have anything to do with that. I don't know.
I don't know.
But she tells him she doesn't know why that happened. And there was a note threatening my life if I told anybody. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know where those came from. Who did
No.
that? He maybe accepts this answer and then leaves. He thinks about it and then he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later.
Checks out.
And the girls are like, well, this is another plot point to worry about. Like, that sucks.
There's so many plots at
There
this point
is.
in the fucking show. The book.
It just runs like a movie in your mind.
Yeah.
Love that.
There's so many plots though. It's
Yeah, there
stupid.
is. Yeah. Meanwhile, on March 10th, 1945, Ronaldo takes Gigi on a weekend getaway, and she doesn't feel guilty and wishes Ronaldo could be in her daughter's life. And she could get away with it because occasionally she would go hang out with her friends on the weekend. So that
They
was a
would
good
take-
cover story for John. I was gonna say James, but I love how she explains all this shit away. Like someone called her out on it.
Yeah. In her diary. Her book.
Don't worry, I have a back
It's like
soon.
one giant confession is what it is.
It's so funny. Chapter 17, The Shadow. Z is hiding in Addie's closet, watching her get ready for bed. He's getting aroused, of course, and he thinks about how after he assaulted her with his gun, he came in his hand on the way to his car.
That's crazy.
Good for her. He waits for her to fall asleep so he can stare at her beauty in peace. Quote, right now, she fears me. Rightfully so. I'm a dangerous man, and I kill people daily. Not only that, but I enjoy it too.
The way you're saying
That
it.
was a direct quote. That's how he says it in his head. He claims here that he hasn't bothered fucking a woman for over a year because he doesn't have the time. Meanwhile, he has to make multiple trips to fill up Eddie's living room with roses in between torturing and dismantling local sex rings.
Yeah. So true.
If he wanted to, he would.
If he wanted to, he would.
Plus, the women would always beg him to stay with them, and he just got tired of it. So every woman that he slept with,
He's got the ego of a fucking crazy.
they were like, "Oh my god, please stay, please be my boyfriend. Like, I need you in my life. Oh my god, that dick was just so good." And he's like, "This is exhausting,
Dude." He is insane. The way this man thinks about himself is something on another level.
It really is. It's so.
That's the one
crazy.
thing I will say, because like his constant like bringing down everyone else around him, like, is crazy.
It's hilarious. He thinks he'll never get enough of Adeline, and he has no shame. He never claimed to be a good guy. He never did, Okay.
He
all
did
right.
it. There wasn't one spot where he's claimed to be a good guy.
Quote, "I'm going to make her fall in love with every single fucked up part of me. I want this girl to see me at my most depraved. I want her to experience the true darkness residing in my soul. When you make someone fall in love with the darkest parts of you, there's nothing you can do that will scare them away. They will be yours forever because they already love all the fucked up bits and pieces of you." I feel like, how there's like crime couples?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this is how they meet.
Yeah.
This is how they're made.
Yeah. Depraved shit. Showing
Yeah,
up the fucked up.
The
Yeah.
most darkest parts of you.
Yeah, 100%. I
That
mean, but at least he used to.
dark.
At least he's like Dexter. He uses his like murderous tendencies
I
in a
did
positive
think
way.
about Dexter a couple times during
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, which we
We
could
do love
justify.
Dexter.
Yeah, exactly.
Dexter has a dark passenger.
And so
And
does
then
Z.
he has a shadow, yeah.
Yeah.
So does he, yeah. Okay. She falls asleep. He gets out of the closet, gets haunted by a ghost for a second, then lays a rose on her nightstand and is excited to watch the footage of her finding it later. She makes a snorting noise in her sleep, and he has to leave the room out of fear that he won't be able to hold his laugh in. And he compares the noise to the noises of the people he's tortured and killed. And he's never heard a noise like that before. Out of someone so cute, that's so funny. Oh my God. Once outside, he's free to laugh. And he gets a call from Jay, his hacker BFF that's not as good as him. And
That
he
he
tells
trains.
and he tells Z that Mark Williams and 3 of his senator friends are in town. Those are the guys that are involved with the blood ritual, the location of which remains unknown.
Yeah.
Jay tells him that he has to go to their clubs and casinos and becomes friends with them in order to find out where this place is. And Z promises himself once he finds this place, he'll kill everyone involved and the government will be dismantled.
Which he achieves.
And he's also annoyed that he has to like go make friends with these guys.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, I would rather die than be around a bunch of rapist pedophiles.
Why doesn't he just hack their phones?
Because
They have better hacking technology than him? Doubt it.
they're able to hide their trace.
Oh,
The problem.
right? Yeah, their IP address. They rewrote it.
Because like even powerful people like that have hackers too. So they probably have stuff to counteract.
Well, I thought he was the best, though. I just thought.
Everything has limitations.
Chapter 18, The Manipulator. The next day, Adeline gets a text from Z that says, quote, "You're so pretty when you sleep." She's annoyed by his audacity and has been trying to write all day, but has hardly written 1,000 words. So I love how unbothered she is by the sexual assault with a gun because she's just like the next day.
Yeah.
Continue writing her manuscript. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is actually insane.
There's no drama. She's just like, well,
Yeah.
I do have this imaginary deadline that I set myself, so I'm going to keep writing.
Yeah. Well, because I think the thing too is like I think she's probably internally conflicted because by the end of it, she was like, and this is always in the beginnings of these
Yeah.
assaults, like in the beginning, like, so when they start when he starts assaulting her, she doesn't obviously want it, right?
Right.
But then, like by the end, she's like a full participant, which is not necessarily
Not
obviously.
a justification, or it doesn't make
No,
it right
it's
or
not.
good or anything. But
that's
my
my point is she's internally confused
for sure.
by
Yeah,
it.
she's like, well, if I enjoy, like, why did I enjoy it? Like, what?
Yeah, why my body,
Yeah.
my traitor's body,
Yeah.
likes to be like the terror of it.
Yeah, that's crazy that her body literally was just reacting to physical touch, as bodies do, and she's,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
oh, it's not good.
for now.
So now she's in bed and sends a text back antagonizing him. She thinks about how she's more afraid of Max than she is of her stalker because at least her stalker doesn't seem inclined to physically hurt her, although he has peppered her body with bites and bruises. She must be talking about a different kind of physical abuse. She knows he was probably in the closet the night before and gets up and checks it, but he's not there. Thank goodness. And then he texts her saying, I'll be seeing you tonight, little mouse. Didn't he already say something like that?
Yeah, always.
Mix it up.
Yeah, change your tactics, buddy. None of these are working.
You up?
You up, Tex? Yeah. See you tonight. You up?
And then she says, from outside my house and preferably in a cop's handcuffs. And then he says, you don't need a cop to get me in handcuffs, baby. Baby. I'll let you do anything you want to me. This is exciting. And she starts to play with herself. He sends more threatening text, but she drifts off to sleep, I guess. She wakes up in the process of Z tying her wrists to the bedposts and duct taping her mouth shut. She begs him to let her go through the tape. He keeps saying he's punishing her and teaching her a lesson. Oh, by the way, like more trigger warnings for sexual assault.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I forgot that was coming.
Yeah.
She screams at him to fuck off, and he says, keep pissing me off, Adeline. I do enjoy hurting you. It's music to my ears when I hear you cry. And, of course, Z sexually assaults her again. From super summary, this is the summary of the rest of the chapter. Quote, Adeline does not consent to the interaction, and she resents her body's arousal response to Z's action, which causes her inner turmoil.
Yeah.
So it happens again.
Yep.
She fights and rages and curses. He makes her promise to be obedient and bites her clit when she resists. At one point, he takes her panties off and puts them in his pocket, and she says, quote, oh, that's gross.
Oh, that's gross.
That's the first thing you're finding gross about all of this? After she orgasms, he kisses her and they make out like horny teenagers.
And she like, yeah.
Yeah, like they're both like fully into that. She's upset at herself for letting this happen again. Quote, he's forcing himself on me. We both know that. But in the end, he had me wanting it just as much as he did. He had me nearly begging for it. Whatever it was, his gun fucking me or his tongue, my legs fell open by the time it was over.
Yeah.
So that's like how that is.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to process this maelstrom of emotions she's experiencing. And then he unties her and walks away. And he turns around at the doorway, bites his lower lip, and then he shuts the door and leaves. That's what she's... And then she cries again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on April 14th, 1945, Gigi and John are waiting on some random ass man named Frank who was picking them up for dinner with the police department, I think.
Yeah.
Her and
she
John
just randomly starts talking about Frank.
Yeah. Well, she did explain it in your chapter, but I must have missed that. I must have just not even bothered to read it.
Did they?
Yeah, I think you mentioned Frank.
I mentioned Frank, but I didn't mention like that they were. I just mentioned that they're
Right, not
him
that
and
they're
John
like
are
involved with
friends.
police.
No, they didn't say that. Yeah, not yet.
Right. Gigi and John are just coexisting at this point. They're drifting apart. Very sad.
Oh.
Not really. Chapter 19, The Shadow. Z is in his Mustang, suffering from blue balls and thinking about what he just did, and he doesn't regret it. Quote, and I know how fucked up that is, okay? To take something without consent, I know that's what I'm fighting against every day.
But I never claimed to be a good person.
And she will consent eventually. And that's how he's going to get her to fall in love with him. That's crazy. Here's a witty quote from Z's mind.
I know.
Quote, I don't think I've had blue balls like this since high school when Sarah Fortin jacked me off in the locker room. It was the first time a girl had touched my dick, and I didn't even get to finish because coach walked in before I could shoot my load off on her pretty tits. Then he called that little girl's eyes pretty light brown. You just don't.
Just because they're using the same adjectives does not mean that they're the same.
You do, in this case, need to find a different adjective.
No, he's not assaulting children.
I know, but I still didn't like that. He debates beating one out right here, right now, but Jay calls and he refuses to touch his dick while on the phone with him. No homo. Anyway, Jay says that the 4 senators are going to Satan's affair, and now Z has a ticket as well. Z looks to see who else is going to the fair because he's curious. He thinks about how haunted houses don't scare him, not when he sees true horror every day. It doesn't compare to the actual monsters in the world.
Exactly.
Then he says how regularly dressed humans are what is really scary. Like Like not clowns and vampires and stuff. It's just regular humans
regularly
doing really bad stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever heard of the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's what that scene reminded me of. Like how he when that comes up, like he was really scared because he would just break into people's houses that where their door was open and rape whoever was inside.
Yeah.
Like
seriously.
indiscriminately. It was very scary.
For sure.
But anyway, he sees that Adeline has a ticket to the haunted fair or whatever, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's my girl!
Oh, my little mouse!
I'm so excited! I'm going now." He doesn't text her for 2 whole days, and he's been beating his dick like it was an opponent in a boxing match ever since.
Is that a direct quote?
Yes.
Great, wonderful.
He texts Addie a lewd message, and she's like, "Did you know that my great crumbly Gigi was murdered by her stalker?" And he's like, "Wait a second, I don't remember reading that in her diary. Ronaldo seemed like a really nice guy. He seemed like you really liked Gigi. That's so crazy."
He seemed like you really liked Gigi.
Yeah, he wouldn't have murdered her. So he did read the diaries and was intrigued that what was happening to Gigi is what's happening to Addie and how history is repeating itself. And he's like, "Wow, it's so crazy." Addie says that all stalkers are psychotic freaks, and he lets her stew on that. He didn't text her for a second because he's like, "I'm going to make her think I'm mad about that." Quote, "I stalk her because I'm fucking addicted. I'm fascinated with every move she makes, every word that comes from her pretty pink mouth." Hate that.
Yeah.
And now I'm addicted to her scent, her taste, and the way she sounds when she's scared for her life, just as much as I'm addicted to the way she sounds when she's begging for more. He calls her and tells her, "You're totally in the right to be scared of me, but I'm not going to let you fall in love with a fake persona. This is me. You don't have to worry about me being fake." Isn't that so nice? They talk and talk and talk, and he basically admits that he killed Arch and his whole family. And she's like, "Well, now Max is down my throat." Not like that. Not like that. Don't take that. But he's not worried because Max is a low-life criminal. He's like, I'm telling you, he's like, way worse people out there. I'm not going to bother with him. He tells her that
For the last time. I'm not going to say this again.
He's not that strong. He's short. He tells her that he's been deleting her police reports and sending in goons to destroy the physical evidence inside. Not that stalking cases ever get taken seriously anyway, which is why so many women end up murdered. That's what he said. Huh? I didn't add that in for facts. That's what he said. Like, if that's a 100% true and really crazy and scary and unfortunate fact.
Yeah, and he's acknowledging it as well. Yeah, he's a stalker. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, and thinking about a stalker killing Gigi.
Tendencies. Yeah.
But he's like, "Don't worry, I'll literally behead anyone that comes after you. So like, don't worry." Chapter 20, The Shadow. Z is at the club where Addie met Arch, and he makes his way to the VIP section where he finds Max with a waitress like riding his dick, like out in the open, and
like
he's
fucking him,
and he's unimpressed with how high she has to bounce. Addie would never have that issue.
His ego is ginormous,
insane. The twins are doing similar things with similar girls, like right next to him. Z shoots his gun at Max, and the bullet misses his head by an inch. And he's like, "Tuck your guns away, boys, and your dicks." Like, no homo though. No. Max is like, "Who are you? Where's security?" And Z makes fun of him for not having his own guards. Z tells him Addie doesn't have anything to do with Arch's death, but I do. And he shows him a video of Max's father, who he had gagged and bound to a chair. Z is frustrated. He doesn't have time to deal with small fish when he has great whites floating around. And sucks for all of them because I'm a fucking megalodon. He's extinct. Max, who is close to his father, agrees to leave Addie and Dea alone. And Z is like, "Great, your father's already on his way home. Thank you so much." He goes to leave, and Max is like, "Wait, you never told me your name." And Z turns around and he's like, "You can call me Z."
Yeah,
why would he admit that?
I don't know.
That's insane. I'd be like, shoot another gun next to his head.
Yeah, like, you think you have the privilege
to even ask my name?
Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker.
That was crazy.
That is crazy.
But people like that think they are like on top of the world and unstoppable, they do things like that.
Yeah.
That's how they get caught
and
eventually.
He doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop here.
It doesn't stop for Z.
That taken care of, Z leaves to go to another club called The Pearl, which is an illegal underground club. There's poker, there's strippers, there's an Ouroboros hanging in the corner.
Yeah.
And he's like, Well, that's like a clear sign of who we're dealing with.
Yeah.
The Ouroboros. And I was like, I Googled it. And I was like, what does it mean? And then I didn't find anything relating to like.
That's a clear sign.
It's like the Ouroboros. That is disgusting. Get that off the wall. He assumes.
What even is an Ouroboros?
Oh, it's a snake eating its own tail.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. He assumes they're drinking $50,000 scotch that tastes like ass, but they probably like that since they think their own farts smell like flowers. The waitresses are clearly drugged and getting abused by the patrons. Z joins Mark Williams, he's one of the 4 predator senators, in a poker game. Mark shoos another man away to make room for Z, and he introduces himself like with an alias. It was like, I'm Zach. I'm Zach.
I'm sorry,
What's his last name? Meadows?
alias was wild.
His name? Okay.
No, it was something like
Zach something.
like Archibald or something.
Yeah.
No, not Archibald. Zach,
They're like, whoa.
like Fairweather, or like something like that. Or
Zach
like
Fairweather.
Zach Mayweather, or something like that. Hold on, let me.
Ready?
It's Zach Forthright.
Zach Forthright. That's
Yeah.
his alias. It's so funny that Mark sees Z and there's no room on the table, so he's like, "You get up, join us," because he was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that guy must really like me."
Yeah.
He's inviting me to play poker with him.
He's
Wow.
inviting me for poker.
He had to shoo someone else away. That's crazy. He plays poker for like an hour, never outplaying Mark. He wins and loses on purpose because he's so good at the game. You know, like his father taught him when he was little, so he knows how to
Have a
be the
poker
best.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mark respects that, I guess.
I guess.
A waitress comes over and sits on Mark's lap, and he's close to like raping her, like literally. And Z drops a glass, gets fake mad at the waitress, pulls her into another room, pretending to be excited to abuse her too.
Yeah.
But he pulls her into a closet and makes fun of her name a little bit and tells her that she just won the lottery. Her name's Cherry. And he's like, your real name, not your stripper name. And she's like, Cherry. And he's like, wow.
He's like,
Your
wow,
parents
your
are
parents
fucking
really fucked you. No wonder you chose this
Make
career.
fun of her
path.
name.
He
Yeah,
does.
you know, you. Jeez, oh, Pete's.
Set you up real good for life,
Yeah.
Cherry.
But so he pulls her in this closet and he's like, you just won the lottery. Because with the help of Jay, they get her into a car and her family will be taken care of from now on. They'll get the help that they need. And he's like, don't you worry. Why would he help that one girl? And Jay fucks with the security camera so no one will be able to see that interaction. Then he has to spend the rest of the night chumming it up with the senator. And he's like, ugh, hate that. Meanwhile, on April 15th, 1945, John had accused Gigi of an affair at a work dinner in front of Frank and his associates. And Frank seems upset about it. That's it. Frank is mad that they had an affair.
They had affairs.
They had affairs.
Did they have
And
affairs?
they had affairs.
They had affairs.
Chapter 21. I don't know whose POV this is from. Oh, the manipulator.
Yeah.
Adeline and Dea are hanging out talking about Z, and Dea was like, oh my God, did you guys fuck? I can see it. And Addie's like, ooh. She tells her it wasn't consensual, like at first, but then he ate the soul out of my body, so I don't know what to do or how to feel. But she only tells her it happened once. The gun part cannot be spoken about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Blame
question that.
Yeah.
That's the only true thing I believe.
Fair.
Dea is not judgy, which is incredible.
Jaya's the MVP.
Oh my God. She's like, look, I'm not judging you. I just want to get this straight.
Yeah.
Then Addie says, anyway, let's focus on Gigi. Her decades-old murder is more pressing. They talk about the possibilities surrounding Gigi's murder, and they're like, yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe. Internally, Adeline struggles with her feelings about Z, but in the end, she says what happened 2 nights ago was sexual assault, and she's not going to spin it any other way. They find a picture of Ronaldo from the 40s with some members of a crime family, and then they get drunk. Adeline helps Dea get into the guest bedroom and helps her get her jeans off, and Adeline jokes that her stalker will probably help get hers off. May I never again wear a pair of pants that are difficult to remove inebriated.
It's just so random.
The way that you turned your head. You're like looking for a ghost to like
validate how.
Yeah. Adeline goes to her own room and falls asleep. She wakes up and of course Z is there and she feels bold and is like, are you going to take my jeans off? She calls him kitty cat, and now in her underwear starts humping a pillow and moaning kitty cat, like the name. I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
Then he grabs her hair. Quote, Zaid. Oh. Quote, Zaid. That's the only name that will ever leave your lips from now on, especially when you're making that little pussy feel good. And when I'm making that pussy feel good, then you can call me God.
I don't see anything wrong.
She's like, you gonna assault me again? And at first he says no because he doesn't want her to vomit on his dick. And she's like, you know what? I would vomit because your dick is tiny and gross. And he's like, my dick's not small. My dick's not small. So he pulls it out to show her, and it's not small.
He pulls out to show her.
Then he comes in her mouth and makes her swallow it and makes her thank him for it. And it was like rougher than that. But
Yeah.
there's the little
Wait,
summary.
because she gives him head? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Not
consensually. All the while she's not consenting and being snarky and fighting him and crying. He's fisting her hair this entire time. He did not let go of her hair. That's one detail that will never leave me. It's a long scene. Before he leaves, he tells her that the funny thing is he was just going to tuck her into bed and leave her alone. But then she went and forgot that he's not a nice man.
Oh my God.
So annoying. Meanwhile, on June 19th, 1945, John is drinking and becoming more and more angry, and Judy doesn't quite want to work it out, and they might get a divorce.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's really actually where it needs to go.
I agree. There's no longevity to that relationship.
No.
Well, that was good. I enjoyed it.
That half?
Yeah, I did. I liked it.
I think the second half gets more interesting as far as new things that are happening, because this is just repeats until this chapter. It's just
yeah, honestly, that it is more interesting.
So different things happen.
Yeah. Yes, different so different things happen. You know, we'll just have to get there.
Yeah,
and see.
I can't wait because I've only read a couple chapters. So
Okay,
but you know, new things have already happened, so that's exciting.
it's fair.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
me too. I want to.
Honestly, the second book does more in terms of like it's not as repetitive in my opinion.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
but it's also like way harder to read.
Yeah, we're not going to read the second book for the podcast. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
I don't think it'd be a good idea.
But Kylie
it's a tough read.
Yeah.
But I'll give a very, very short summary at the end of next week's episode.
Yeah, and if, we'll give you a spoiler warning if you are interested in reading that.
Yeah.
What's your quote of the week?
Quote. And I know I'm about to do something bad. I know that I'm going to cross lines that I will never be able to come back from. But there's not an ounce of me that gives a fuck. Because I'm obsessed, I'm addicted, and I will gladly cross every single line if it means making this girl mine, if it means forcing her to be mine.
That's crazy.
That's in like chapter 2 when he sees her at the bookstore.
Oh my God. That was so early.
I know.
I thought that was a quote from Adeline at first. I'm like, whoa, is that from the second half? Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
So I put 2.
Okay, what are they?
All 4 of them could easily ruin my life, and I would be hesitant to stop them.
Oh, yeah.
I
that's
just
fair.
imagine.
So they're all really hot.
Yeah, I can just relate to that briefly in my 20s. It all connects to the fact that I had a stalker, and the police brushed it off when I made my reports of random roses. But it won't change anything for the next girl that's being stalked. It never does. In the end, it'll be another statistic, but will fade away as just that. A beautiful girl, lights up her room, stunning. All of her friends loved her.
Made friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone loved her.
Yeah, she was so amazing.
The world will be a lesser
Stalked
place.
by an unhinged man, and no one bothered to help her until it was too late.
Yeah.
That's just those lines about like the statistics of stalking and like murdering and raping, like
It's
just
crazy.
thrown in here is like
Yeah.
so jarring.
It is jarring.
It
'cause
is.
It's very real.
Yeah. So,
That's how I feel about the child trafficking when they just like briefly will say stuff about that.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that I feel like this book is written so unseriously in my eyes that it is hard to imagine the true horror of what actually is being described.
See, the only times
with-
I do feel like it's not like written so unseriously is when they're talking about the human and child trafficking. I feel like it gets really serious
Yeah, it's
as soon as they get
interesting.
more like into that.
Yeah, it's
It's like, how do you make
I don't
that
know what to make of
jokey?
it. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like how do you fit that in? Like as I don't even know why you're fitting that. Why are you putting it in there? I don't know.
Because it gives him something that's almost hard to be like in a lot of people's eyes because that's such a bad thing and he's fighting such a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it gives him like a quality where it's like almost everything else he does feels not so bad because he's ultimately fighting the worst
He's like
thing
making up for his
ever.
sins.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, I'm a rapist, but it's okay because I kill rapists.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Who these are fun. Who would you be?
I would be
Nothing really bad.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like there's a lot of characters you could be that would just be like too sad to say.
Yeah, maybe like one of the other girls at the club.
There you go.
Like,
Not invited to
not
VIP.
invited to be with Arch and not being stalked. Just like
Not being stalked, just kind of living your life.
no. Or maybe like
Or maybe being stalked.
no, I don't think I'd be stalked. Like I wouldn't be a main character. Like maybe like the dad.
The absent dad.
The absent dad.
I picked one of the ghosts in Parsons Manor that haunts half-heartedly.
They do all half-heartedly.
Yeah, they're like, woo, that's all I got.
Woo. All right. Run to the attic, little girl.
Who would you want to be?
Ooh. I would want to be
Oh, I didn't put anything down.
oh god, this is hard.
I said not a single on-page character. Maybe her grandmother, but not Gigi.
no, yeah. Maybe her grandmother. But
Yeah.
even her grandmother's a tough one for me. I'm gonna go with the dad again.
Because we don't know anything about him except that he left his child.
Yeah. I mean to be no, that's probably not a good thing. I just don't want to be involved.
Right? Yeah, that's the moral of that.
The moral of this is I don't want to be involved.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I'd want to be. If you gun to my head, you tell me I have to pick a character. Gun
Who
to
would you
my
want to
vagina,
be?
you
You
tell
could
me
be
I
like
have
a-
to pick a character.
You could be a boat. I mean, a ghost.
First of all, first things first.
No, you're not gonna be a boat. I meant a ghost. They're so
When you
light.
I said gun to my
Wispy.
vagina, you just
So
completely
sorry. Yeah, I
skimmed over that.
did not.
And I could be a boat. Okay, so
Wait, what did you say?
I said gun to my vagina. I said gun to my head. No, gun to my vagina.
Oh,
so
geez, oh, Pete. Oh, gosh.
that was funny.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry I
Um,
missed it. I
So
feel bad.
if I had to be a character, I don't know, maybe right now I
No.
don't mind. I actually don't really mind that much Adeline's life.
Oh, okay.
I can deal with the stalker. No, I'm joking.
wow.
No, I don't know. Well, you tell me. I don't
Who would
really
you
want to be the
want to
mom.
be?
She seems like a
Just
stuck-up
be a
bitch.
ghost. Maybe just haunt.
I don't want to be
Z.
someone that ended my life. Maybe Dea.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Dea.
She doesn't do anything bad.
No.
Not yet. Favorite
No.
character in the whole book?
Dea.
I picked Dea too. She was like,
She's a ride or die friend.
yeah. She
love
has a
her.
level head, it seems.
Yeah.
Least favorite character?
Arch.
Arch. R.I.P. his hands. Not the rest of them.
Either Arch or Max. I don't like either of them.
I picked Zayd.
I know
Z.
I know you did. I know who you picked. I know.
There's just not a single thing that I like about him at this point.
not one single thing.
No, I
He's
was trying to
hot.
think. But he has a scar on his face and his eyes are different color, like a husky.
So, that's hot.
You like huskies? I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm not sexually attracted to
I'm
husky.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I would look to see. I for some reason also picture his hair like being split half in black and white.
Oh, that's hot.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's hot.
And,
All
like,
of these
his-
things that you're saying is
His
making
scar
it hotter.
runs through his white eye.
Yeah, that's still so hot. All of this
Who
is
do you
making
picture?
it like way hotter.
Who do you picture for Zayd?
Like as a person,
Yeah.
he's kind of like Reese to me, where I genuinely can't even picture someone that would
Oh.
like.
Wait, he's
maybe,
like
a
Reese, like
young-
you just there's no one good enough to fit.
Yeah, I just don't feel like there's anyone that'd be
In your
good enough.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for me, they're described almost like an unattainable beauty. And so nothing that is
It's funny.
here now would be like what it would be.
Right.
would do it justice.
Yeah. For some reason, Matt Rife keeps coming into my head.
Oh my God. I totally Matt Rife was my stalker. I would kill myself. Jump
See,
off
stalkers
that
are very
fucking cliff.
nuanced. You don't want one. It could be somebody like Matt Rife.
God, I'm
Now
so
it puts it in
not
perspective
kidding.
for you.
Oh my God, I would go straight for the edge of that cliff.
Jesus.
And I'm not kidding.
Jesus. No, just because like
Matt
just how
Rife,
like
kill me.
how like skinny his face is, or like how like defined or like gaunt it
Yeah.
looks, kind of for some
Sure.
reason. That's what, because I picture Zayd kind of like in skeleton makeup sometimes, which is crazy, but like
That's fair.
you
'cause
know
all
how
the
like the cheeks are
smoking.
hollowed out, so I picture him like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Matt Rife. Oh my God. I can't get over that.
How should we wrap up this half?
I don't even know. What do you mean? Happy
Happy
Have
Hanukkah.
yourself a happy
No,
Halloween.
just like what are our thoughts, because there's a lot going on with the sexual assault, and then like her liking it, and like we have to address it a little bit better here.
Yeah, I like okay, so I did like it. Okay, and I'm going to explain why I guess maybe like these scenes like don't break the book for me, because I feel like literally there was we have this, which is a contrast to Bridgerton. With Daphne, where we had that situation where that broke that book for me, right?
Yeah.
The obvious answer is this book is supposed to be gray and nuanced. This book is not presenting itself like it's supposed to be like something outside of something absolutely crazy, and maybe because it is so like not fantasy but like fiction,
Right.
that I can't like it doesn't. It's not like pulling as real for me. It's about as real for me as like a story with Faye. Like
like in Bridgerton, we could easily like imagine being there and dealing with the social situations that happen, but like this is like
this is supposed to be something that's not. Like,
you're not supposed to have the answers to.
Yeah, this is
And you can
supposed
just
to be
read about
gray.
it.
This is supposed to be dark. It's supposed to have these themes, but I feel like you're supposed to still find obviously the romance in it. I don't know how to describe that, but it's just.
And I think it's and if you don't know how to describe it, and if you don't get it, you probably won't.
Yeah,
You probably
and
won't.
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
and
really okay.
I'm in that category, so hi.
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't listen. I don't agree with the things that Z is doing. But I think for me, what's conflicting me is the way that she's thinking in her mind.
Right. Yeah, and that's what it happens like that. So I mean, that part is very real.
Well, and I've said like when I'm in someone's POV, I'm thinking what they're thinking for the most part. So if she's down for it, if she's then I mean, by the end of it, I'm probably gonna be down for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When she's like,
It's
no,
tough,
I'm like,
though.
no. But when she's like, okay, I'm like, okay, we're on board. Like. I'm riding your wave. Like you're leading the charge. I'll be with you.
I'm just feeling the
behind
feelings,
you, no matter what. I'm like the Dea of like reading books, where she's like, I don't care what's going on. Just be, tell me and we'll ride it out together. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna be your best friend no matter
Interesting.
what. So that's kind of how I feel about
That's
it.
so funny. I don't like any part of it. This parts where she's crying and like screaming. Like
I know.
I just can't get over that. The fact that he fights to end rapists every day, and then turns around and rapes the girl that he's stalking. It's just not something that I will ever find romantic.
It's very contradicting. It is. I don't disagree.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, that was a fun first half.
Yeah, the second part, I will say that there is more consent in the second half.
Okay, yay! Because there wasn't any here.
No, there's not.
Zero.
There's definitely more consent.
Because there's at least one.
This becomes like this is their thing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
their
know how
kink,
else
their
to
personal
describe.
kink.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you then next week for part 2 of Haunting Adeline.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at litlibationspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, and if you made it this far, please go rate 5 stars on Apple Podcast and Spotify or
Spotify.
Woohoo! Or YouTube. Go subscribe because I think it's so fun.
It is. I agree.
It's gonna be crazy. A lot of crying and
A lot of crying.
we edited that
every
out.
time. Oh my god, I'm like 7 for 7 on that right now. On the crying on that freaking these ones.
Oh yeah,
It's edible.
it's hilarious. It's a good time though.
It is.
I already feel better. All right.
Amazing. We love you guys.
Love you. See you next time.
Happy first week of
October.
October.
Woo.
My face is so
Bye.
Bye.